Well, well, well. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Wickers, Wickettes, nice to see you. Today is a very special day. Zero Fox, happy birthday. Yes, happy birthday to me. It, if you haven't guessed from the title, is my birthday. I am 43 years young today. It's nice. I don't know. I feel it's weird. I don't feel old, but I am old. Some days I feel old. Today I don't feel old, right? Went out, got some Italian food, spent time with some family and friends. It was nice. And now I'm here to bring you some content. Well, maybe, hopefully. I got a message about 20 minutes ago, maybe a little longer. Mail Slayer apparently has some family emergency and can make it tonight. When is tonight? I'm not sure. I asked her specifically what time. She didn't give me a time. She hasn't responded. So, we'll go over it. We'll go over what we were going to go over regarding her. Only she's not going to be around to defend herself, unfortunately. But I do need to point some things out. We do need to talk about it. And that's what we're going to do for a portion of the stream. I also got into a little back and forth with Ryan Grimm. Not Ryan Grimm. I'm sorry. The other Ryan. What the fuck is his name? Give me a second. Is it? You know, one of these days I'll remember people's names. But that day is not today. I have it up. Let me find it. Ryan Beard. There's too many Ryans in the world, okay? Ryan Grimm, Ryan Beard. Okay? I'm just saying they need to condense, right? Maybe one can be Ryan, the other could be Ryan. I don't know. It's hard to remember them all. But we're going to talk about the little back and forth I had with him. It wasn't that spicy. No, not Ryan Getty. That's a third Ryan. Oh my God. No, it's a Ryan Beard is the guy I was talking to today. He had a bit of a spat with Hutch, and I jumped in because I thought the arguments were bad. And we're going to go over that as well. We're also going to just talk about the other announcement that I had for today. Okay, not only is it my birthday, but it's Liberation Day, gang. It's the day I announce I am a member of the Liberal Action Network. We are going public, okay? What is the Liberal Action Network? Well, gang, it's a group of liberal creators that have come together, and created a community where instead of we're all just kind of doing our own thing, fighting on our own, getting harassed on our own, like isolated and made to feel like there's only that we are the only ones fighting for liberalism. No, we've banded together and we created a little bit of a project. And I'm really excited for it. We got some great people on board already. We have some awesome tools to help spread each other's message as well as kind of combat illiberalism across the board. And it's early stages, but I'm really excited for where this is going to go. Let me show you guys their website real quick while we are on this subject. And to be clear, I am just a member. I am not in charge in any way, shape, or form. Though, funny story on how it came to be, but we'll share that in a bit. So, liberalaction.net is the website that they got, okay? And when you go there, here we find the website, the landing page. It's a Project Liberal network. Okay, we are partnered with them. It says, alone, liberal creators are easy targets. Together, we are not. The Liberal Action Network connects and defends independent creators who vigorously champion liberal democracy against the coordinated doxing, intimidation, and swarming they face for it. And you can join if you like. This is open to all liberal creators who want to have a voice, stand up, get in the fight. There is an application process, and I guess I'll walk you guys through it briefly. We don't accept all members. You have to be a liberal, not just a progressive or just not a socialist, not a commie. You got to be a liberal. So it's open. It's no one's getting paid for this. To be clear, I receive $0. No one is. It's all volunteer. There is no funding. None of that. But it's a great little program. But let's go through what we're built on: mutual defense. When one of us is targeted, the rest show up, not to mirror the tactics used against us, but to offer real support, solidarity, and a community that has each other's backs. And I think this is huge. One of the problems being in this space, especially as a liberal, is you feel isolated. You feel alone. You feel like you are the only voice speaking for what it is that you believe. And this is by design, right? The enemies of liberalism, the enemies of people who speak out against the extremists on the far right and the far left will come and bombard your comment sections, right? They will come into your YouTube channel, leave tons of comments. They will come to your Twitter and they'll reply guy you, and you feel under attack, like you have no support. And the goal of them is to isolate you, is to make sure that you don't feel like you have any support. But what this does is it allows us to kind of support each other, right? When one of us is getting overwhelmed, getting attacked, getting brigaded, we come to each other's aid, right? And we let each other know, both in public and in private, like, we got your back, we're there to support you, all these things. Really good. Authentic action. We organize around shared goals and surface the conversations that matter, while every member speaks in their own voice. No marching orders, no copy-paste talking points. And yeah, we aren't going to get like a list of things to talk about or anything like that. We basically share common values and principles in liberalism, and we each communicate them in our own way. We will disagree on policies, right? Even the people in there, right? There are people in there that I have disagreements with on various policies. Even like, how progressive should we be? How conservative should we be? Whatever. But what binds us is the commitment to liberal values, right? It's just, there's a discussion how best to get there, right? And I think that's important. 3, a broad tent. We lift up creators large and small and keep liberalism a place where people find a home, not a pipeline to extremism. We guard against radicalization on every flank. Yes, we have measures in place to keep this organization, this institution, hopefully one day, from being subverted, as so many others have. And I think that's very, very important. Why we exist. Liberal voices online face organized, well-funded harassment, coordinated doxing, intimidation, and swarming, often backed by bad faith political actors and hostile foreign interests. Alone, liberal creators are easy targets. Together, they are not. We formed in response to that reality. The Liberal Action Network is a broad tent united by one non-negotiable: a commitment to liberal democracy. We are selective, but never secretive. Our purpose, our principles, and our leadership are open to anyone who asks. So yeah, if you want to know who's in it or whatever, just let me know, and we'll get you the information. Funny story about this. Do you guys remember a few months ago? It may have been last year. May not. May have been January or something. I forget. It's been a few months though. I had Kraut on. I had Destiny on. I had I think Soypill was on that one. There was a bunch of us. And I mentioned this problem, that we were isolated and that we needed a liberal streamer NATO. so to speak. This was founded because people were listening to that and thought it was a great idea. And they got together and they made it happen. And that's pretty cool, right? I think that's pretty cool. The fact that it was inspired by one of my shows, right? Well, the things that were happening to me. And I like that. I think that's really cool. I was invited to this last month, right? And we've been kind of working out the kinks of how best to kind of launch it, things like that. But I'm really excited this is going off, and I'm really excited to kind of be a part of this, see where this goes. What membership unlocks? So what do you get when you join? Trending alerts, early warnings on the topics moving on Twitter X so the network can respond while it still matters. A graphic database, thousands of searchable memes and graphics ready to deploy, and a public record. Deep research into what public figures have actually said, search their full history, and pull the receipts. And this is a really cool tool, to be clear. I can basically, for the people we track, right, we can, any of their public tweets that they've made, public statements, I can search them. Like if I wanted to see what Ben Shapiro has said about immigration, I can put in the dates and time range if I want. I can put in the name, and I can look for everything Ben Shapiro has said about immigration. It even tracks deleted tweets too. So that's an interesting tool. It's very powerful. It's very It's very useful. I'm still playing with it, but it's great. Joining runs through Discord. So membership is invite only and vetted by the community. You apply, verify your identity, and get reviewed all inside our Discord server. So if you want to join, if you are looking at this and you're like, damn, that sounds awesome. I'm a liberal. I want to support liberalism. That's how you do it. You got to go to the website, click join, and it'll take you to the Discord where you will go through the application process. They vet you to make sure you're not a subversive, and to make sure you're not like just a shitter. And then if no objections, you get access. So that's how you do it. Anyway, really cool project. Really excited to introduce this to you guys. And I figured I'd just let that slide. And thank you for the happy birthday wishes. I do appreciate you. I do. I'm not ignoring you, chat. Key says, isn't Mail Slayer that one blatant liar on Twitter? You're going to have to be more specific. But yeah, she's a little weird. Let's see if she's responded. Maybe she's given me a time and we can check. Let me check my DMs real quick. One moment, ladies and gentlemen. Nope. Still nothing. Which really sucks. That was my content plan for you guys today. I'm kind of annoyed. I'm annoyed I got stood up on my birthday. Thank you for the $20. GPT Hunter Seeker. Woo yeah. Happy birthday. Library up my Yahoo. Hell yeah. Zephyr Hash for $5. Happy evacuation from Womb Day, my fellow human. Have a frosted peach of sponge of your favorite flavor, decorated with a lit up stick of wax. £5 from Dottie Girl. Happy birthday, sir. Well, thank you. $10 from Lib Trucker. Happy birthday, big dog. Thank you for that as well. And thank you for the songs. Thank you for all of these. Reason Riffs just signed up. I hope you did. Thank you again. Let's bring up some of these tweets I was going to respond to. Oh, before we do that, speaking of being attacked and our enemies being fucking weird, they I guess made me Jewish as an insult. This is Reservoir, by the way. Reservoir, who definitely is an anti-Semitic, apparently. Basically, he made AI me. It's kind of funny. It's got the cup of noodles, little whatever that fucking thing's called, the little hats I got. I don't know the words. And I got the ringlets and the DGG plushie, and I'm against the Wailing Wall, right? I mean, it's kind of funny, until you realize that the insult here, and to be clear, they are trying to insult me. This is an insult that they're doing. They are insulting me. The insult is, ha ha, look, I made you Jewish. I mean, you're not beating the anti-Semite allegations, man. You're just not. First of all, not Jewish, but it would be okay if I was. It's just a weird thing to do. Odd. It makes me ask questions. Why did you think that this would hurt my feelings? Why did you think that this was an insult? Why did you think that this was going to like needle me? Or was this an example to your friends of, haha, look at Whick, he's so crazy? He's Jewish, gang. There's a I don't have it on me, but there's a gif of Alex Jones going, Jew, 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 Jew. And really, honestly, it feels like if you don't want Israel to be driven into the sea and Hamas to reign supreme over all the earth, they'll just call you Jewish. I don't know. Weird. Kinetic Paw says, doesn't this say more about them than you? Yes. But they don't see it that way, right? Like, that's how normal people view this, right? Like, if a normal person would see this, they would think, shit, that's, is your insult he's Jewish? That's weird, man. But to a certain crowd, a certain group, this is seen as the height of snarking, right? You got him. You portrayed him as a Jewish person. And DGG, that's a double own, bro. And they all high-five each other in their little echo chambers. And they're like, that Whick, he's so silly. He's so silly. Look, he's Jewish. Haha, Jewish, 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 Jewish. And that's why we need the Liberal Action Network. Anti-Semitism, gang, is anti-liberalism. It's anti-liberal to be anti-Semitic. And we have people who stand up and say, this isn't okay. This is not fine to attack these critters. And we support each other, right? Almost 1,000 likes on this quote tweet. I think I did well. And that kind of thing is small. It's little, but it makes a lot of difference. When you know that people have your back, when people recognize that this is what's happening to you and they publicly acknowledge that, hey, this is not okay. This is a problem. And so, yeah, I just, like, they keep saying they're not anti-Semitic, but they keep doing these weird Jewish jokes against me as an insult, and I don't know what to say about that. That's weird. That's weird. Membership from Brewcrow for 14 months, tier 2. Happy birthday. Well, happy birthday to you. Well, I don't know if it's your birthday, but when it is your birthday, happy birthday to you too, Brewcrow. Thank you for the tier 2 membership. It really helps. Moon says, in this liberal space, the worst thing you can accuse someone is being Jewish. Well, it's not a liberal space. The Twitter is not a liberal space, unfortunately. And the snarker space is not a liberal space either, but is what it is. $2 from Zephyr Hash to say, Whick, that's not the insult, to be fair to Rezi. What is the insult? The insult is I'm Jewish, to be clear. That is what they're trying to portray there, that, look, he's Jewish, and he's got a funny cup of noodles, and he's also DGG. That does seem to be the insult, based on the picture. Input output says, the real question, are you a Jewish Zionist? Well, I'm not Jewish, first of all, and Zionist in what, like, it depends what you mean. Really does. By some definitions, I am. By some definitions of Zionism, I am. If your definition of Zionism is you think that Israel shouldn't be destroyed, then yes, I'm a Zionist. If your definition of Zionism is that Israel has a right to do a genocide or Israel has a right to ethnically cleanse its neighbors, then no, I'm not a Zionist. So it really depends. Benji says, by every definition you are? Okay. You know, no one believes you guys, right? And look, hold on. Before we get to the Mail Slayer stuff, I do want to address this. Do you guys actually care about Palestinians at all? You realize, like, all this kind of weird attacks you do against creators isn't working, right? Like, Palestine isn't free. It's not closer to being free. In fact, it's further away from being free than it has ever been in my lifetime. Um, your tactics, your advocacy, your way of being pro-Palestine is actively failing. It's actively failing in a pretty brutal way, unfortunately. So, I mean, sure, I guess, call me a Zionist 20 times. It ain't going to save a single Palestinian, man. And that sucks. I wish I had better advocates than you weirdos. But instead of being effective, you want to be vindictive. And here we are. £2 from Riz What the Fuck that says, happy birthday, fellow old guy liberal Zionist. Thank you. Caramel Cold Brew says, to be really real, I don't care about Israel or Palestine. And that's fine. That's fair. Right? No one can force you to. I do wish people cared more about foreign policy. Most Americans don't. Most Americans don't rate foreign policy. But foreign policy matters. It's important. How we treat the world is actually worth discussing. 1,000 ARS, which is like $10, from Ignoring Chat, says, happy birthday, my man. Well, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Well, happy birthday to me, but when it's your birthday, happy birthday to you. I try to be reciprocal, just like as a thing, and it just doesn't really work on birthdays. It's like that weird thing that I do as a habit. I'll go to a movie, and the person who sells me the ticket will be like, enjoy your movie, sir. And I'm like, you too. But then I realize they're not going to go see a movie. And I see it sound really weird saying you too back. Same deal. $5 from Gamer Nicholas. Happy birthday, Whick, and also a happy birthday to my personal friend, Buttered Noodles. I think it's funny you two share a birthday. Well, cool. It's your birthday on Tuesday, Ignoring Chat? Well, damn, a lot of good people are Leos, okay? A lot of real cool people born in this, like, 2-week time frame. It's just insane. It's very cool. Nice, nice, nice. Molotov Cocktail says, happy birthday, you dirty liberal, on Twitch. Yes, true. I'm a dirty liberal. Okay. Let me go and let's look at who we were going to talk to today, but unfortunately, they've ditched us a little bit. I think this is a good starting point to showcase who this person is and why I wanted to talk to them. Here's Stardust. To be clear, Stardust is great. Stardust says this. This was tweeted about a couple weeks ago. Hi, Juice Stalker. Every time I'm on camera, you and your buddies decide to extensively focus on my body. Is this not seriously sexual harassment? And it is. It's weird. It's weird how they focus on her tits, mostly, on her weight, on her appearance, on her body, making very weird sexual comments in the conversation. I call it a conversation. In the back and forth Stardust and J-Stalk had, he was basically shouting out Hog Rider over and over again as an insult to her, right? A sexual insult, as Beckett, making fun of Beckett for sleeping with her, basically, and calling him a Hog Rider as an insult to her. It's really weird. And so she asks, I think, a good question here. is this not seriously sexual harassment? If you're constantly sexualizing someone, especially a woman in this space, if you're constantly talking about her tits, if you're constantly talking about her appearance, that's weird. And especially from the sexual nature of it, it can be harassment. This this person responds. Let's see what they have to respond to this. Male Slayer, okay, is their name. Oh, 500 bits from Cowboy Subs. Thank you for the 500 bits. Happy birthday, Whick. Well, thank you for that. I really appreciate you. Let's see what this person has to say in response to this. They quote tweeted this comment of Stardust asking, "Why are you sexually harassing me?" And this is what Male Slayer has to say.
Ooh, men are so mean to me. Ooh, sexism, misogyny. Ooh, men are so mean to me. Bitch, your friend is being sued for sharing nudes without consent. He's being sued for a sex crime. Come on, you like misogyny. Stand on it. Stand on it.
So apparently, because Stardust is friends with Destiny, and Destiny has a lawsuit against him for non-consensually sharing nudes, it's okay to sexually harass Stardust. That's what this is being said, right? This is what's being said by this person is, your friend did something we don't like, and because they did something we don't like, you are a valid target for sexual harassment. I wonder, and this is why I wish they showed up today, right? I really do. I wish they had come because I want to ask where the limits to that are. Like, how much is it okay to sexually harass Stardust because she's friends with Destiny? Is it okay to sexually assault Stardust because she's friends with Destiny? Can we hurt her? Are we allowed to grope her? Are we allowed to make AI nude photos of her and distribute that? Can we share her nudes around non-consensually? Like, is that okay? Like, where are your limits? Where are your lines here? Because this idea that someone, and again, Stardust didn't even do anything here. Let's be clear. Stardust has not, to my knowledge, shared any nudes. He's not, to my knowledge, have any even hints of an allegation that they sexually abused someone. Again, maybe I just don't know of these accusations. Maybe they're out there. I just haven't heard of them. But because Destiny did something and she is connected to Destiny, these people, Male Slayer here, thinks it's okay to sexually harass her. Thinks it's okay to talk about her tits. Thinks it's okay to sexualize her without her consent on stream and make fun of her for that. Personally, I think that standard is fucked up. I think it's weird. And I think that she would never hold this standard for any other person except for the people that she hates. And this is my whole kind of theory of the Snarkerverse, right? This is my whole theory of that side of the internet. Is they don't actually have real principles. They have hate. And anything is okay to do against the targets that they hate. There are no lines. Again, wish she was here and we could have a back and forth about that and she could tell me her lines because I'd love to hear them. Maybe she does, but she's not here. So we have to go with what she says. And what she said was that it's okay to sexually harass Stardust because Stardust is friends with Destiny. And yeah, as No Cow Mike says, friends with is probably a stretch to begin with. I don't know Stardust's relationship to Destiny, but Destiny had her blocked for years. She hasn't been on a show with Destiny in a long, long time. I think maybe she jumped on a stream with him once in the last 2 years, maybe twice. Like, they are always really hyper fixating and blowing out of proportion these connections that we have. As if we're all like behind the scenes, pulling the strings together to protect each other, blah, blah, blah. Like J-Stalk has said that the Digital Ground Game Group was created to protect Destiny's sexual predations. He called Zugazmi, or his community called Zugami, rape meat for Destiny. And that was the accusation, right? They used to call, I think they still do, they call not so erudite Ghislaine Maxwell for allegedly bringing women for Destiny to rape. None of which happened. None of which is actually real. But they tell these lies. They tell these lies. They tell these things to each other to kind of justify the sexual harassment of the people they don't like, the targeting of people they don't like, the doxing of people they don't like, all these things. It's crazy. Oh, hold on. Lola, calm down. My dog is upset. There are people next door working on something. She hears them out, and she really, really wants to let me know that there are people outside. So she's barking. If you hear her barking, that's why. She's okay. She has food. She has water. She's been walked. No shot collars here, right? Yeah, she's okay. $5 from Moon says Stardust doesn't think sexual harassment is wrong at all. She is doing it to Westside Tyler just the other day on her own stream. Did she sexually harass Westside Tyler? Can you send me that clip? $5 from J Swift. Happy birthday, Whick, with a emoji. Thank you for that. $5 from the Village Geeks. Happy birthday. Well, thank you for that as well. $5 from Gray Race. Happy birthday, Wick. Liberalism is inevitable. True. Yeah, but send me the clip of her sexually harassing Westside Tyler. Very curious. And just to be clear, gang, are we talking a single comment she made? Or are we talking like a consistent pattern? Because that's the difference, right? Like, making one sexual comment isn't harassment. It's a repeat. Harassment requires a repeat of the offense, right? You have to keep doing something over and over. With Stardust and the sexual harassment against her, it's a product of years. Constant comments for years of time. And I want to make that clear. If you have clips of Stardust saying several sexual comments of Westside Tyler, please send them to me. DM them to me in Discord, please. And we'll play them and we'll look them over. $10 from What the Fuck Over to say congrats on being born. Thank you. $10 from Bathory Dusk. Can't believe she ditched you today on your birthday of all days. Look, it's okay. You can't trust these trifling women, okay? These trifling women. Nah, it's fine. But yes, generally, when we speak of harassment, it's something that has occurred over a period of time. Can there be a single instance of harassment? Sure, perhaps. But when I think of harassment, I think of a consistent pattern. £5 from Riz. What the fuck? Are things getting better or worse in this space right now? My perceptions of things like the pot and dental have blunted the worst of it recently. I think we're in a calm before the storm kind of deal, right? Like in a hurricane, you have the winds blow and howl and knock stuff over. Then you get to the eye of the storm, and you have a period of relative calm while people assess, and the storm passes over, and then you're back to the storm again. That's where I feel we are, okay? That's where I feel we are right now. And to be clear, a lot of it has just stopped going public. Like, this harassment hasn't stopped against us. The doxing hasn't stopped against us. They're still doing it. It's just like people... There's only so many times I can bring it up. There's only so many times we could discuss that. And people get bored of it. And they don't want to talk about it anymore. And other stuff comes up that is worthy of having a discussion over. And there's an active campaign to minimize it as well. So, have things gotten better? I don't think so. I think we're in this. We're all waiting for the next shoe to drop and see what happens. But that's my read of the situation. Does that make sense? Let me see if this person DM'd me yet. Hold on. No. Yeah, if you want me to share the clip, you gotta share it with me. You gotta DM me on Discord. Whick TV. Oh, here we go. Let me pull it up. Okay, this is 19 minutes. Do you have a timestamp? Or are you saying this happened for 19 minutes? Bringing up. Why did it? All the reacceptions they got going on is so weird. Here, give me a second. Let me see if they DM'd me. Timestamp. Smiley face. Or is it the whole thing? I'm not watching 19 minutes. You got like. Okay, here we go. We got an actual clip.
Need the puffed out chest look.
Okay, let's full. Oops. Let's do it this way. Gonna full screen it.
Need the puffed out chest look, you know?
And then we'll watch it together, gang. This is Stardust allegedly sexually harassing West Side Tyler. Let's see what they have to do. Let's look. Let's watch. Okay, it's 27 seconds.
Need the puffed out chest look, you know? It's like, damn, another man with a better chest than me. Fuck.
Okay. All right,
Look at them titties. Look at them titties, dude.
I'm not really.
I see them.
I'm not really all that into it, to be honest. If there's
I
funny clips,
see
someone
them
should link me to
titties.
clips. I would check out clips, but other than clips, I'm probably just gonna.
I see them titties. They're well developed. They're well developed, my man. Good for you.
You know, we'll hit up some of these other.
Is this too below the bell?
Yeah, it's a little weird. That's a little weird. Won't lie. Probably shouldn't say that about other people. But I want to compare these things, right? We can say, no, probably shouldn't have done that. She probably should apologize. I think that's fair. Is that a fair critique? She was trying to be funny? Yeah, sure. But, like, if you go into JStalk's chat and, well, just go to the, like, kick logs and stuff, and you just search Stardust's name in the kick logs, and you compare the comments that JStalk's community has made. If you compare the streams people like Queeman have done, the comments on stream that Mrao has said, JStalk has said over the last, I don't know, 3 years. And we're gonna put these things on a scale. I think, yeah, while, again, it doesn't excuse Miss Stardust making fun of West Side Tyler's man titties, it's not the same. And it's weird to pretend that they're the same, or even an equivalent. I don't know. We don't have to do this thing where we turn off our brains. We can look, and we can compare, and we can look at something called scale. And scale is how often something occurs, the severity of what is occurring and what is being said. I don't know. I just, like, fair enough, you can criticize that. That's fair criticism. But it's just not the same. Tashika Ann says, I can't talk about moobs now. I mean, like, well, we gotta deal with the reality, too, that it's different when you say it about a man than a woman, right? We could just acknowledge that reality. Making fun of my tits. Let me show you guys, okay? Hold on. This is for you, for my birthday. Okay. Making fun of my tits, right? And I don't really have moves, right? I have decently developed pecs, okay? I'm not muscular by any means, but, you know. If you wanted to make fun of my tits or whatever, is that the same as if I made fun of a woman's tits? Are these the same actions? Do they have the same connotations? Do they say the same thing? I don't believe they do. Does that make sense? I mean, like, do you disagree? Alish Nisters for $5 says, yes, but Aiden said specifically to me that it was fine to make fun of people if they were public figures. They run in the same circles, don't they? Look, I think making fun of people is fine, but what's happened and being done to Stardust is a little above and beyond. I'm going to be real, right? Like, again, severity matters. And it's just not the same. Like, I'll give you another example, since we're on the male Slayer person. Like, if male Slayer, like, it's okay to make fun of my looks. I want to make that clear. If you want to make fun of me eating ramen or how I look, you guys remember Lav? Lav said yesterday that I looked like a serial killer and a child rapist. It's a weird thing to say, but she said it. Let me see if I can find that, actually. And I can just show you what she said. Because she said happy birthday, too. It was funny. She wished me a happy birthday, and she's like, happy birthday, but you look like a child predator. It's just weird. That's not the same as just making fun of me for eating ramen weird, right? It's not. It's not the same. And let's not pretend that it is. Let me see if I can find it for you guys, though. Because I said something about this guy. Hold on. I tweet a lot. Damn it, I tweet too much. There's a guy, the guy who always says weird shit about his wife online. He's a very rich man, and he's always making comments about... Oh, here we go. He's always making comments about... Well, I'll just show you. Brian Johnson. You get to know this guy? So I see this picture, pretty woman, right? And he says, Kate's period blood is in my negative 80 degrees Celsius freezer. Around 10 milliliters. That's the tweet. That's the post. Okay? I quote, this is giving serial killer vibes. Because who does that? Who takes a picture of their wife or significant other, girlfriend or whatever, and says, I have her period blood in my freezer. And, it's weird. It's weird. And so I made a tweet saying, this is giving a little serial killer vibes to me. And I don't know if she's a friend of the stream, but Lav here was like, do you know what you look like? So I quote, because I do know what I look like. I said, yes, I look pretty good for 43. It's my birthday. And here's a picture with me, a little drinky drink. I think that was a fair response. And so she responds. Let me see if we can get there. Happy birthday, but holy fuck, there's literally nobody else that looks more like a serial killer or child molester. So I picture, and here's a cake I had. It's American flag cake, right? Just like, calm down, have a piece of cake, right? I don't know, it's weird. Anyway, we understand the difference between saying that someone looks weird or ugly or whatever and saying someone looks like a child molester. Like, these are not the same. They're not the same scale. One is much more acceptable than the other thing. We don't have to pretend that they're equal. Right? We don't. We don't have to. So when Stardust makes an inappropriate comment about Tyler's man titties, that's not the same as when they, for years, sexually harass her. It's not. Molotov Cocktail says, you're ugly on the inside. That's way worse. Jesus. On my birthday? On my birthday? KTC says, Wick TV wears yoga pants on laundry day. True. Bad Horse says, I'm pretty sure that's Lav's way of flirting. I don't think so. I don't think that's true. Thank you, Falcon Lombard, for the happy birthday wishes. I know, Molotov Cocktail. I'm not actually mad at you. I'm playing along. It's okay. Anyway, all this to say, these are not the same. That clip from Stardust calling Tyler saying he had man titties, it's probably inappropriate, but it's not a huge deal in the scheme of things. I don't know. I'm not going to clutch my pearls about it. Speaking of... Oh, thank you for the Tier 1 membership, Okale. For 7 months. Wow. Happy birthday, Wick. Well, happy birthday to you. But let's see what else has Miss Mail Slayer said. Here's a post she made about me. Okay. Wick TV babes, you look like the typical man I'd find on the sexual offender registry list. Anyways, you can invite me on your stream and we could talk all about this. I did invite her on the stream based on this post. She's not here. But she was scheduled to be. This is just me looking like a normal person. I don't know why you guys keep saying, like, this is obviously just something they say to get a rise out of you. But here, I'll give you guys the snarkers. I'll give you some hot tips if you want to actually insult me and get under my skin. I think I look fine. I'm not insecure about how I look. I look okay. I'm not a 10, but I ain't a 1 either, right? Like, I'm pretty comfortable in how I look, and you can insult my looks all you like. It's not gonna bother me. I post these pictures myself in public. I stream with my face on, and look. Fair play to Lav and Mail Slayer because they don't hide behind VTubers. But if you are hiding behind a VTuber and you're talking about anyone else in the world's looks, you're a fucking coward, right? Like, if you're gonna make fun of someone's appearance, feel free. But bro, you're hiding behind a VTuber. That means whoever is out with their face in public is more secure about how they look than you are. And it makes me wonder what you're hiding. Thank you for the 10 Wick TV gift memberships from AK Batozai. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Really appreciate it, sir. And then we have 10. Oh, no, I correct myself. 20 Wick TV gift memberships from Oda Shara. Look at him go. And then 10 more Wick TV gift memberships from Bad Horse. Bad Horse. He's bad. You remember Dr. Horrible? Sing along blog? It's a blast from the past. You should look it up. It's really good. But yeah, it's at the end of the day, if you're hiding behind a VTuber and you're making someone fun of anyone else's looks, you're a fucking coward. Bro, what are you doing? Stardust and I can make fun of people's looks, though we probably shouldn't. But we have more leeway to do that because we show our fucking faces. You can see a little zit on my nose right now, even, right? If you look. But I don't fucking care. Like, I don't give a shit. I'm not here so that you guys will fuck me, okay? I'm not going to date any of you, right? Some of you maybe, if you pay me more. But you know what I mean? I'm like, I just don't give a shit. And I'm very comfortable in my body, very comfortable with my skin. I have no problem showing you guys just whatever. It is what it is. So why does that mean to Stardust? Stardust is brave, right? Anyone who shows their face on stream, from Reason Riffs, Kraut, Lav, Destiny, Darius, all of them are brave. More brave than VTubers. They just are. It's just a thing. It's just a thing, okay? I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, if you're going to accuse me of looking like looking any sort of way and you're a VTuber, I'm going to laugh at you, okay? Anyway, this also what I wanted to ask Mail Slayer about is apparently, this is her stance. If you send unsolicited nudes to someone, it's not revenge pornography if that person exposes you or shows anyone else the photos. I've gotten nudes from men before without my consent and exposed them to my friends. It's the gender is reversed as well. I'm not sure what she means by that. I wish she was here again to talk about it. She says, not gonna lie, I don't give a single fuck. When I was in high school, I showed everyone the disgusting shit one of my classmates sent me and reported him to the principal. I am being so dead fucking ass, I don't care. Don't send nudes without consent. That shit is disgusting. So here's a couple things on this. No, don't, gang. Don't send people nudes unless they ask for nudes. I think that's a fair statement. I would agree with that. But what do you think this person would say if one of my fans sent me their boobies? Okay, they sent me some tit pics. I didn't ask for them. I'm like, why are you sending me tit pics? To be clear, if you want to send me tit pics, I don't think I'd be that upset. But say I got them. I was like, why are you sending me tit pics? I didn't ask for this. This is non-consensual. So I'm going to show everyone. And I post those tit pics on Twitter that someone sent me in private, right? What do you think that she would say about me as a person? What do you think others would say about me as a person for doing this? What do you think they would? Like, let's be real with each other. What do you think would be the thing that people would say? Even if I got someone's nudes non-consensually, that does not mean you should share people's nudes with the public non-consensually. Right? Two wrongs don't make a right here. It's gross to do that. That would be a gross thing to do. And the fact that she did it to someone in high school? So a high school, again, just imagine, a high school girl sends me nudes non-consensually. So I show everyone that high school girl's nudes that she sent me. Is that not just distributing CSAM? Is that not just distributing CSAM? So her saying that she got, I guess a high school boy sent her pics, dick pics, I assume, nudes of some sort, and then she showed them to other people? Is that not just distributing CSAM? Why would you fucking say that? Oh, they were also in high school, so it's different? I don't know if it is. Like, can kids not send CSAM? Stop running from Achiel. Sure, Acriel. Who showed the public Pixie's nudes? Was it Destiny? No, it was not. Who showed the public Pixie's nudes? It wasn't Destiny. It was the person who hacked him. Or hacked their conversation or whatever. Solo, I believe, is the guy's name. That's who did that. Now, you can say it was inappropriate for him to share it with other individuals. That's fair. But you don't see the difference here? Between me sharing it or Destiny sharing it with one person versus someone who just posted it on fucking Kiwi Farms? These are the same to you? This is why I can't take you guys seriously. Don't run from Acriel. Acriel, get your ass in VC. Jump backstage. We'll do some open call-ins. Don't run from Acriel. Okay, jump backstage, bitch. Well, you're not Acriel, but it's okay. How you doing, Stardust?
Hello?
Hi.
Hi. Sorry, just 1 second.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, let me turn you up on my end, though, because I had you down for some reason. Maybe you were a little too loud last time. Okay, try again.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
So I just wanted to say the thing with Tyler, I didn't realize like how like weird that could have been taken until afterwards, and somebody was like, "Hey, that could be a little weird." And I did DM him. Well, initially it was like, "Should I message this guy?" And then somebody was like, "No, just leave him alone. He probably doesn't give a fuck. It's Tyler. He probably just like literally doesn't care." And then I was like, "Okay." And then I saw that he was a little bothered by it, so I did DM him, but he never responded to me. But basically, like I'll just say like I have this ongoing bit where I do like I'll be real, like I'm very nasty about Elon Musk. Like Elon Musk has some fat man titties, and I swear there's milk in there, and I feel like that milk is for me. Like there's my name is on that milk. I know it is. Okay, but okay, I'm sorry, but the only thing with Tyler is that I noticed he resembled like Elon Musk a little bit. I shouldn't have gone there. I'm so sorry. Okay, I don't think I went that far with Tyler. I was just like, maybe I did. I don't know. But I did comment on that part. I commented on that part I shouldn't have. Okay. And I don't think it's fair to like, group Tyler in with other snarkers. I don't think he's like the same as one of those A-loggers. Okay.
Sure.
So I shouldn't have done that. I'll say that much. I didn't realize in the moment what I was doing. I do apologize. It's not something you'll see out of me very regularly unless it's like a disembodied like public figure usually, and it's a male. So I do that about like Hunter Biden, and I'll do it about like Elon Musk. So
Okay.
so I'm sorry. I did apologize to him. I don't know if he saw it. I don't know
That's
if he saw
fine.
my DM.
I think that's fine.
But
Just to be
yeah.
clear, I think that's
Yeah.
if you apologized and you're like, oh shit, okay, that's different. Have J-Stalk or anyone else apologized to you for their comments against you?
Oh, no, never. That's never happened. There's
Okay.
never been any apology whatsoever. In fact, there's always been doubling down. Even with the cowhead thing, there was like multiple streams just defending people sending me that. But with like the whole thing with my boobs, they tried to gaslight me about it. And say like, oh well, it wasn't really about your boobs. It was like about you looking like a whale or whatever. Or some whatever else they were saying. And they were saying like, oh, how like fat and ugly I look like. Which is okay, whatever. But like, you're still intensely focusing on my body every time I'm on a camera or on stream or something. You and your buddies get together. You're intensely focusing on my body, on different parts of my body, whether you're calling me ugly or not. It's incredibly invasive, and I do feel like it crosses over the line into sexual harassment at some point. Now, like
Well,
I
they've
feel
been
like
doing it for
over that line.
years, right?
I feel
Like
like
this is
I
something
feel like
I've
it's crossed over that line
yeah.
a long time ago, and I've never used that word. I never used that word, even though it crossed over that line a long time ago. So that's all I wanted to say. So yeah.
Yeah, thanks for clarifying, right? Like You appreciate
Yeah,
that. And, I mean,
yeah.
you
Thank
can
you
make
for
fun
having
of
me.
you can make
Have a
fun of
good
my.
happy birthday, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been all. Did you use the T slur on stream last night? I'm being told that you did.
Maybe I read a comment that called me one. I don't know. Like I think
Oh.
somebody in the comments was calling me, "Hey, who's the T word?" On the this
Oh,
side, and I
okay.
was like, "Oh, are they talking about me?" Oh, okay. But yeah, I mean, if that's me using this T slur, my bad. But it was somebody calling me that, and I was reading a comment,
Fair
so
enough.
I
Okay.
definitely wouldn't use that regularly.
Sure. No, I think
So
that there.
yeah,
I think there's a difference between calling someone that and reading it off of a comment in chat. I do think that there's a
yeah.
difference
And
there.
I also called them. I called the person out for it. I was like, "Hey, that's not cool." So yeah,
Yeah. No, I think that's perfectly fine. Okay.
yeah.
Well, Stardust. Is there anything else before we let you go?
Nope, that's it. Thank
Of
you.
course. Bye bye.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to me. And AK Batuz, I thank you for the additional 10 Wick TV gift memberships. I appreciate you, sir. I appreciate you lots. But yeah, there's just a big difference in the behaviors here. And this idea of trying to make this kind of false equivalence between these two types of behaviors is just, it's just wild, right? And like, look, if you got and to address the mail slayer thing, if she got this unsolicited nude and she showed the principal to show this person sent me an unsolicited nude, that's different than showing her friends or just putting it on blast publicly. Again, there are differences here. We can use our brains and measure these differences and see that they are not the same. And while we may have criticisms for making fun of Tyler's man titties, it is not the same as years of sexual harassment. Just not. $2 from Harrison Dill. Wick, it is my birthday. Happy birthday. Oh, is your birthday too? Happy birthday. Oh, happy birthday to you as well. Happy birthday, everyone. Okay. Everyone whose birthday is today is a special birthday, boy and or girl. Okay. I mean, Krivnik Kev says the only difference sounds like how long it's been going on. I mean, that matters though, right? Like doing it once and apologizing versus doing it for years and not apologizing. These are big different things. And we should judge them differently. Let Icarus says Wick TV and Hutch almost have the same birthday. Almost. It was close. Me and Zugami almost have the same birthday. Closer still. Acreal, I was told I was running from you, and you're not backstage yet. That's weird. That's odd. That's a little crazy. I'll give you a few more minutes. Maybe you have to, I don't know, do the dishes or something. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't have the Discord. Well, I could provide that. We can make that a thing. Hold on. Boom! I'll even pin it. Parallax for $5 says, happy birthday, my friend. Love you. Glad you got your goofy ass cake. Goofy ass man orders goofy ass cake. Shake my head. Love you. Okay, gang. I have a tradition that has been going on since my, I believe, like 16, 18, something like that. Every year for my birthday, I ask for a very specific type of cake. Okay? I ask specifically for an American flag cake. Okay? A cake that looks like an American flag. It's got the blue section with the white stripes and the red stripes. And I like it with fruit. I like the blue section to be blueberries, the red section to be strawberries, and the white section to be vanilla frosting. That's how I like it. And so every year I'm asking either my parents or if I'm with someone or my friends, depending on my status, right? I ask like, hey, for my birthday, I don't really want much, but could you get me an American flag cake? That's my wish for my birthday. And every year, without fail, they get me the American flag cake. And I consume it and I become more American, okay? It's a tradition and I like it. Some people think that that's weird. Some people would say that if I asked for the American flag cake and then my partner got me a Canadian flag cake, that I should be happy with the Canadian flag cake because they got it for me. And I shouldn't be mad that they didn't get me what I want. Those people are wrong. If I ask you for an American flag cake and you get me anything else other than an American flag cake, and it wasn't because they were out, or it wasn't because, like, I don't know, there was a strawberry shortage and you couldn't find any strawberries or whatever, I'm going to be upset, and I think it's okay to be upset. I think it'd be okay to be like, this is a little crazy. Okay, I don't think this is Acreal, but we're bringing him on anyway. Hello, you're live.
Hey, Whick. What's going on?
You're not Acreal, are you?
Fuck no.
Okay, I just want to make sure because people were saying I was running from Acreal, and I want to give him every opportunity to come in and say his piece.
Godspeed. We need the content.
Yeah. And oh God, are you calling my stream boring right now? Oh damn. Wow.
No, but first things first, out of courtesy, happy birthday, man.
Thank you, sir.
Second, wicking out. We got to talk about that. It's cultural appropriation, man.
Cultural appropriation.
You got to take that out of your vernacular, then maybe, like, I don't know, issue a formal apology, and then reconsider your options.
Okay, well, first of all, which culture did I appropriate it from?
Well, our homegrown minority. The black populace.
The black populace. Okay, explain.
All right, so the etymology of the word is a term used for, damn, this is actually pretty sick, right? For more modern terminology, this shit's cool. And now we're wicking out about it.
Other than me saying it, I have never heard that term in my life. Now,
You're
to be clear,
despite
what you guys may have heard, I am not well versed in the black community, vernacular, the African American vernacular, etc. I have a lot of ignorances in that sphere of things. Okay, so it's possible. It is possible. I've just been ignorant this whole time. But I don't know, man. I don't think I've ever heard that.
It's okay. We learn something new every day, but don't worry. There's still
You got a
other
clip
options.
of a black guy yelling, "I'm looking out" or something, right?
Oh, jeez, I'd have to go look for one, but
Yeah.
sloganeering is always possible, man.
Find me those clips. I want to see all the African Americans screaming, "I'm looking out," and then I will probably change it up. But I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true at all. But I appreciate you calling in, man.
Go check it out for yourself if you don't believe me.
Okay, black
But
people
otherwise-
looking out. Google it now, gang. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm gonna let you go. Oh well. Do you have anything else? First of all.
Sexual harassment is wrong. Boom, mic drop. Adios.
Stunning, brave. Stunning and brave, gang. Not too many people are brave enough to say that these days. Sexual harassment is wrong. It's bad. You shouldn't do it. If you're sexually harassing people, you're wicking out too hard. You need to tone it down. You need to wick out a little less. And don't wick out without the lady's consent. You have to get the consent before you wick out on her, okay? That has to happen. Short Stack Goblin says, Wick, if the clips are good, add it to the intros and outros. 01D says, it's too early for politics. Just popped in to wish Whick a happy motherfucking birthday. Well, thank you. Thank you for that. No, Holy Ghost-filled man, you cannot just whip your Whick out. You have to ask permission first, or get it with implied consent. Implied consent is a concept. You usually are, most people, I should say, are able to understand implied consent. Okay. Not everyone. And if you have a question, if you have a suspicion, better safe than sorry, right? Morally Neutral says, happy birthday. John D says, happy birthday. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to all of you. And especially to me. Let Icarus says, there's this particular liberal podcast about learning. And I was wondering if you think all the members would pass the Liberal Action Network test. They can apply. I don't, look, for the Liberal Action Network, I am not in charge of vetting applications or accepting applications. I have no power to say who gets in and who does not. But anyone, if they are a liberal, is free to apply and, yeah, put in your information and see what they say. What do we got today? Man, I wish she had come. Let's see if she's DM'd me or anything. Nope, still nothing, gang. Well, that's disappointing. Kind of upset. I'm kind of a little upset. I wish people wouldn't ditch out on me. Let's see, what else do we got to cover? Oh, Ryan Beard. That's true. So Ryan Beard and Hutchinson had a little back and forth. We're gonna and I joined in the fray at one point, okay? So we're gonna go through it and see what is to be seen. Let me get to the start here. You guys read this? I hope so. Because here we are. So Hutch, about 7 hours ago, tweets this. I think it's a reasonable statement. Someone was attacking ContraPoints. We should have her on the show. I should DM her at some point. Anyway, attacking ContraPoints. This is what this person says. I don't know who this is. Says, your previous statements make it appear that you are not an anti-Zionist. Therefore, your, quote, condemning the genocide, end quote, is insufficient without staunch opposition to the ethno-supremacist ideology and ongoing settler colonialist project that produced the genocide. Additionally, you seem more preoccupied with criticizing anti-Zionists, who took a lot of heat in the early days post October 7th. Okay, just stopping here. If you were calling it a genocide on October 8th and celebrating the brave Mujahideen warriors of Hamas, you aren't just an anti-Zionist. You're a fucking anti-Semite. Gonna be real clear, okay? On October 8th, the day after, and we saw all this, and you were like, well, you know, Israel's creating a genocide, so, you know, is what it is. You might be a little more than an anti-Zionist, just thrown out there. The probability is very high. Let's say that. Anyway, regardless. You seem more preoccupied with criticizing anti-Zionists who took a lot of heat in the early days post 10/7 than you are with using your voice and platform to advocate for an end to the system of domination that has violently subjugated Palestinians for decades. If you truly believe in liberation, set your personal ego and resistance to criticism aside in order to genuinely reflect on your own beliefs and how they have been expressed online. Poor ContraPoints. She came out against the genocide, against Israel. She is by no means a Zionist under any definition that is reasonable of the term. And because she also said, hey, you LARPers are pretty cringe and you're kind of steering into anti-Semitic territory, they will never let her live it down. You see the hundreds of comments, hundreds of quote tweet replies, etc. 1.5 million views, right? And this has 4.2 thousand likes. Just this kind of weird fucking, you didn't say anti-genocide in exactly the way that we wanted you to say anti-genocide, and so therefore we're going to attack you over and over again, constantly, forever. Yeah, concluding postscript says, Contra dared to say that Hamas is bad. True. Anyway, Hutch jumps in to defend our queen ContraPoints. Based Hutchinson. Okay, based maneuver here. Says, you are never going to force a nuclear power to dissolve its own government and become a political minority in a new state. The crux of Contra's Israel-Palestine post was that making anti-Zionism the goal of activism created a movement that was perpetually enraged with zero political outlet. That's a fair critique, I feel. In comes Ryan Beard. And this is where we start the back and forth that I found interesting. Now, I'm going to be real with you. And this is maybe despite my better instincts, okay? Despite my all-knowing brain of how these things work, I actually kind of like Ryan Beard. He's a little bit of a weird guy, but I think when it comes to that group of people online, he's one of the better ones, okay? I don't mind him so much. I think he's a bit of a coward for a few reasons, but I can't bring myself to really hate the guy. Right? I can't bring myself to really be that upset about Ryan Beard. I don't know, is that weird? Just is. Let's keep going. Let's get back to it. It says, so is your perspective that Israel just needs to be an ethno-state for the rest of history? Because I disagree. I think political movements that push towards the abolition of all ethno-states are good political movements. I think Hutch responds to him. Did he do it in quotes? Yes. Here he is. He says, I don't think we just want to end ethno-states argument when pushing a one-state solution for Israel-Palestine has much credibility when the only state that comes up in this context is Israel, and never Saudi Arabia, Oman, Yemen, Egypt, Qatar, Kuwait, Jordan, Bahrain, etc., etc., etc. And this is a pretty good point, I feel. Like, it's, well, I'll make the quote later and we'll go. But let's see what his response was. Well, Hutch continues. The goal of ending permanent Israel control of West Bank Gaza is completely appropriate. But that's different from ending Israel as an ethno-state. Just imagine a bunch of American activists protesting in American streets demand that Estonia or Latvia stop being an ethno-state, LOL. Ryan Beard responds, bro, why the whataboutism? I already specified all ethno-states in the comment you're responding to. Hutch replies, I give it a little likey-like. I'm definitely making what I think is a safe assumption here, but you could convince me it doesn't apply to you by showing me that 99% of your no ethno-states rhetoric wasn't strictly applied to Israel. Ryan Beard says, I talk a lot about people who want to make America a white ethno-state, and pretty much every single time I say that Israel shouldn't be an ethno-state, I say that this principle applies across the board. But you got me, Hutch. As an American, I don't talk much about Latvian politics. Hutch asks why not. They're definitely an ethno-state. I don't think, does he quote here? No. Let's go to my comment. Anyway, I insert myself into this discussion. I quote tweet this because this is, to be clear, this isn't a whataboutism. And I think this illustrates it well. You have someone who 99% of the time, okay, 99% of their content is posting black people committing crimes. And they'll say stuff like, wow, look, another criminal. These criminals are terrible. Get them out of here. Okay? 99% of their anti-crime advocacy is showing a picture of a black person doing a crime and then saying, these people are terrible, get them out of here. And then someone calls them out on this and says, bro, hey man, you seem kind of racist. And then this person claims, well, actually, I hate all crime. I just hate all criminals. And I'll call out criminals of every race. This is a dynamic at play when people do this retreat thing, like this kind of like retreat to, well, no, I just think all ethno-states are bad. Yeah, but you're only calling one out ever. And it's sus. It's weird. It makes me wonder why. And I think Hutch is right to put this out. I think it's right and good to point out when someone is saying, well, I'm against all ethno-states, but I would never, ever, 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 ever criticize any other ethno-state but Israel. Do you actually care about ethno-states? Or are you just using that as an excuse to go after Israel? And I mean, it's a question. And then the other question becomes, why do you have a problem with Israel's ethno-state, but you don't seem to have a real big problem with any other ethno-state? Even though you say you're against all ethno-states, all your content seems to be anti-Israel and not anti any of these other ethno-states. I think it's fair to wonder what's going on with this, right? To be like, hey, man, that's a little weird. Just like, again, it's totally okay to be anti-crime. It's totally okay to want to get criminals off the streets. But if 99% of your anti-crime content is talking about black people, talking about black people doing crime, and you don't ever talk about the white people doing crime or Asians doing crime or any other group, Muslims doing crime, Israelis doing crime, any other group doing crime, and it's only this one group that you talk about all the time, it makes me wonder. I now have questions. What the fuck are you doing? This doesn't seem honest. I think, look, if you have a content creator, and this, again, this might not apply to Ryan Beard. I don't know his content. But his argument is trash, and that's why I pointed it out. But if you have a content creator, and they have 100 videos that are anti-Israel, and they're saying, well, I'm anti-Israel because I'm anti-ethno-state, and they have no videos on any other ethno-state, then I think it's fair to ask why. I think that's a fair question. Cappy D says, you didn't point out anything, you made up a story. I brought forth an illustration, okay? That is definitely a thing that happens where people say that they're anti-crime, but look, it's not anti-crime, it's just anti-black people. And they're using the anti-crime as a vector to attack black people specifically. That has happened. That does happen. You see it all the time on Twitter. Look at the migration stuff right now. They said, well, we're just anti-all immigrants. But the only immigrants you ever talk about are minorities. And you never talk about white immigrants. Makes me think that there's a racial undertone here. I mean, do you need an example of this? I could just go look up fucking Elon Musk's Twitter right now, and we can go through it. It's a fair question. Anyway. Cursing Jam says, show proof that Ryan Beard only talks about Israel, no other ethno-state. You are missing the fucking point. My comment isn't directed specifically at Ryan Grimm. It's directed at a group of content creators, large content creators, who only, large and small, I should say, who are only ever talk about Israel specifically. right? Because remember, this conversation started without Ryan Grimm being in it at all. It was ContraPoints. And whoever was fucking responding to her, Caroline something or other, right? You're missing the point. The point is, if any content creator, any influencer, anyone has 100 hours of anti-Israel content and then is asked, why don't you do anything? And they do it because, like, we're against ethno-states, right? That's their reason. It's like, we don't like ethno-states. Israel is an ethno-state. We're against ethno-states, that we're calling Israel out because they're an ethno-state. And then the 100 hours of content they got, they don't even have an hour on talking about Egypt or the UAE or any other ethno-state in the world. And you're like, huh. Well, that's weird. Why? That's a fair question to ask. And don't let anyone pressure you not to ask that question. Word to the Wise for $5 says, oh, look, here we are listening to Whick talk about Israel again. Why are you so obsessed? Oh, my God, Whick. Also, happy birthday. Well, thank you. Schulberger says, how can you talk about other ethno-states when there's a genocide happening in Gaza? Again, there's a genocide happening in Russia and Ukraine. There's a genocide happening in China, right, with the Uyghurs. You don't hear about that much, do you? It's not a whataboutism argument, is the point. It's pointing out a hyperfixation on one specific group. A specific group that historically has been singled out and targeted for a wide variety of reasons. It's sus. And then you got, again, same groups of people. I'm not saying Ryan did this, but the same groups of people making insults like this, pointing to insult me, painting me as a Jewish man. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's worth asking questions. I think it's worth kind of wondering why. And I'll be very clear. I think Reze Ver is an anti-Semite. I've had conversations with him a few times. He's one of the people whose brains got broken after October 7th, or maybe not. Maybe he was always brain broken, but absolutely, I was made aware after October 7th how little he just cared for Jewish life. And now it's a problem, right? And that's, look, you guys want the real skinny on this? You want the real hot take? My tinfoil hat take? Which isn't really a tinfoil hat. I think we can track this. I think there's evidence for this. But it is a little conspiratorial, I'll admit. All the anti-Destiny snarker shit, 80% of it, most of Doobie's problem with it, isn't because of anything Destiny did or did not do about women or nudes or anything like that. No. It's because of his stances he's taken about Israel-Palestine after October 7th. That is the commonality that you were looking for. Okay? That's what it's actually about. When you dig past the excuses, when you dig past what people say they're mad about, when you dig past all that, when you get to the core of it. My tinfoil hat conspiracy is if Destiny had been a pro-Palestine all the way influencer after October 7th, none of this would be a big deal. They would have defended it. In fact, they would have excused all his bad actions. That's the real kicker of it all. $10 from Adam D. Funded. Part 1 out of 2. Happy birthday. I don't think people focus on Israel while ignoring other ethno-states because there are many others. Israel is one of the clearest modern examples. part 2 of 2 for $5. The same goes for crime. If a group has a higher rate, we should discuss why and how to reduce it. Again, that's fine if most of your content is that. But it's different when it's all your content. Once again, I think the ratio I gave to Ryan Beard, I keep wanting to call him Ryan Grimm, different Ryans. The ratio I gave is a pretty reasonable one. For every 10 Israel bad videos you do a Russia bad video. Do a Egypt bad video. Do a China bad video. I don't know. I think that's a reasonable ratio. That would be like, oh, okay. I mean, yeah, they have a special, like, interest in Israel-Palestine for any, who knows what reason, right? Could be very valid reasons. But they don't just talk about Israel-Palestine. They're talking about other bad actors in the world, too. Okay, I'm much less sus. But it's weird when you only and exclusively talk about one group. It's even weirder, and I go from sus to now I'm calling you the fuck out. If you are on the Israel bad train and you're making content about Israel's an ethno state, Israel's doing a genocide, Israel's doing all these bad things, and then you're praising or excusing Russia or China, then I'm like, okay, no, you aren't actually serious about any of this. Like, you don't actually have a principle here other than America bad. Or even worse, the no Jews, no news principle, right? And often it's both, to be clear. But yeah, again, there's levels to these things. And we can look at these levels and we can make honest judgments based on these things. We don't have to turn our brains off is what I'm advocating for. Cursing Jim, what are you doing? Does Ryan defend Russia or China? Ryan Grimm fucking does. I don't know about Ryan Beard, but Ryan Grimm absolutely fucking does. It's not about Ryan Beard specifically. And I know why you're trying to paint it as that. I know why you're doing that. Is to avoid the larger point. You're like, well, look at this one specific brick, and we have to talk about this one specific brick. We can't talk about the wall at all until we address this one specific brick in the wall. No, man, we can talk about the wall. If we can acknowledge, maybe Ryan Beard is innocent of all of this, and he does perfectly fine content that I have no problem with. That's possible. But his argument that it's whataboutism is just wrong. It's not whataboutism to call these people out. It's just not. Because he was making a bad argument, Cursing Jam. That's why I replied to him. Why did you reply to Ryan then? Because his argument was bad. And I called out a bad argument. That's why. Adam Defunded for $5 says, you're expecting a lot from people who are clearly more focused on what makes money than on treating people fairly and equally with the principled ideas. Yeah, okay. No, you're absolutely correct. A lot of people are doing this because it makes money. That is absolute. Look, fair enough. That is a principle in the equation, okay? Or that is a variable in the equation. But that also speaks to my point, is that a lot of these people aren't actually principled on these topics. They are out to make a buck. And you can be both, to be clear. You can be wanting to get money and also have principles, right? These are not in conflict here. But once again, all I ask is for every 10 videos you make on Israel bad, you have one video on something else. Some other bad state actor. That's it. Cursing Jam says, can you talk about the other ethno states then? Because if you don't, why should we care about about the whataboutism? It's not whataboutism. Okay. So, again, Ryan tried to get me this. It would help if we keep reading. Give me a second. Let me get back. Because Ryan replied to me, and we had a back and forth. He says, I'm willing to bet that you've probably spent more time criticizing Hamas than you've spent criticizing other terrorist organizations. Does that necessarily mean that you hate Hamas more than you hate other organizations? No, it might just mean that the Israel-Palestine conflict is an incredibly relevant political topic that has been a massive topic of discussion for multiple years now. Also, even if other states are also ethno-states, not all of them are committing genocide and ethnic cleansing and getting taxpayer dollars from America in the same way Israel is. So it makes sense why Israel would be getting more focus from Americans. Your whataboutism is dumb and boring, Whick. So, first of all, he would be wrong here. We have plenty of episodes on this stream of me calling out the Houthis, me calling out the Wagner Group and Russian troops, which I believe are terroristic. We got plenty of we got plenty of footage of me calling out the Iranian terrorist regime. We got plenty of footage of me talking shit on, they're not a terrorist regime specifically, because they are a state actor, but China, right? And the depredations they're doing against their own people. So, like, I have a fairly balanced menu, I guess, a repertoire of calling out a lot of bad actors. So he's just wrong here. He would lose that bet. Also, this idea that, well, Israel-Palestine conflict is an incredibly relevant political topic that has been a massive topic of discussion for multiple years now. Yes, because you guys keep talking about it, right? Because you have made it into a massive topic of discussion for multiple years now. You cannot talk about anything else. If almost every show I do, someone brings up Israel-Palestine. Like before October 7th, it was trans, right? There was a running joke in the in Twitch poll community that every discussion eventually ended up being a trans discussion. Every debate eventually ended up being a trans debate. And that was true. Like, you couldn't get away from it. You couldn't escape it because they were making that their issue. That was the issue that everyone was making a big deal, okay? Now it's Israel-Palestine, and you can't escape it. You can't get away from it. So, like, yes, it is a massive political topic for discussion, but that's because you're making it so. It's not naturally occurring, right? This isn't like a winds or the waves or just the nature of the universe. No, it's because you keep bringing it up because no one can have a talk about anything without Israel and Palestine getting brought up, right? And it's just crazy. So I say, I mean, I was a participant in the global war on terror. I did more than just criticize other terrorist groups. Calling it whataboutism when I've clearly shown a pattern of behavior that in any other circumstances you would never accept does nothing to deflect from the valid criticisms of your position. It's weird. It's weird if you only focus on Israel, and you have not said much, if anything, on any other one of the ethno-states. It means your deflections are dumb and boring, Ryan. And Ryan says, have you ever criticized the Tariq Ghidar group in Pakistan? What about the Katiba Imam el-Bukhari in Uzbekistan? How about the Jamaat ul Ahrir in Indonesia? No, then you get to have opinions on terrorism, Whick. And I say, I have an extensive criticisms on the record on streams of the Houthis and the terrorists in Russia, as well as the terroristic regime of Iran. I have a record of criticizing far more than Hamas that I can point to. Like, this attack vector doesn't work on me, man. He says, yeah, and I've also criticized Russia and the Houthis and Iran. And, however, you unfortunately did not list the Tariq Ghidar group, the Katiba Imam el-Bukhari, or the Jamaat ul Ahrar, so your opinion is rejected. Again, which is a straw man of what I'm trying to say, but, you know, I say the criticism isn't, and I point this out here, the criticism isn't just that you don't talk about this specific group. The criticism is that 90% of your criticisms are focused on Israel and not on these other bad actors. I don't require y'all to discuss every single conflict ever. Just for every 10 videos you do of Israel bad, maybe do one on Houthis bad, or China bad, or Iran bad, or Russia bad. And people who cannot pass that pretty generous ratio check, yeah, I'm going to be super sus of them. No Cal Mike says, taking off for vacation, happy birthday, Whick. Well, happy birthday to me, yay! But yes, it's just crazy, like this idea. post the videos that I've made. Cursing Jam. Go to my Whick. Let's Google it together. Okay. So I'm not huge, but I Googled Whick TV Houthi. Here's a video from 2 years ago. Destiny and Whick debate non-smoker and Alistair on Houthis, right? Here's one from It's probably the same video. Communists confront Destiny for condemning Houthi violence. Here's a tweet. So is there anyone out there who defends the Houthis? Would you be willing to come on my show? Blah, blah, blah. Right? And this is just one thing that, again, Google picked up. First page search, right? Again, I'm not in the algo that big, but we have multiple debate topics on this subject. We have multiple debates on this. You can just go to my live section of my YouTube videos, and you can just go scroll through, and you can look. And you can see all the debates I've had on Pax Americana, on whether we should strike in the Houthis or not, whether we should go to war in Iran or not, whether or not we should be involved in Israel-Palestine, whether or not we should get, like, is China a friend or foe? Tons of videos on Ukraine-Russia, right? Like, I don't know. I have a pretty good record. We can just look. Cursing Jam. I'm getting one guide here. Oh, Destiny! Thank you for the raid. It's my birthday. This is your present for me on birthday. But the person no-showed me. So we're just doing... So this is probably a mistake to raid me. We're just doing off-the-cuff content right now. But basically... well, thank you. Yeah, like the stream and subscribe. But yeah, basically, like... I don't know every single video I've done because I've done thousands of videos on a multiple subjects. I have, I think, probably over 1,000 streams on YouTube right now. I could check the exact number for you if you wanted, but it's up there. And no, I can't tell you every single video title. I just can't. Thank you for the birthday wishes. I appreciate you all. Happy birthday to me. Okay. Happy birthday to me. Your texts are like music to my ears. Okay. Your texts are like music to my ears. We had invited Mail Slayer on to debate, but she had a family emergency and couldn't make it. And she told me about this about 30 minutes before my stream. So we're just we're arguing with the chat. We're taking calls. We're arguing with Twitter people. And that's what we're doing today. Where's the Slayer of Males? Not here. Not here. Cursing Jam says, you don't care about ethno-states? Like, what is this? I know you're one-guying me, but that's okay. This is content. Like, what have I said? What did I say? You asked me a question. Post all your videos that I have condemning people like the Houthis. I can't do that. I don't know all of them. I gave you one that was just quick Google searched. Swamp RT says, wow, you're a Leo? Me too? Yeah, Leos are based. Opinion on femboys? I have no opinion on the femboy menace, okay? Something needs to be done, however. Azardesh says, we're about the same age, but I've long since hated my birthday, Whick TV. What keeps you excited about your birthday? Viewers like you. No, I don't know. I like the opportunity to celebrate. I like the opportunity to go out and get myself a little treat. I like the opportunity to get a little cake. I had a little American flag cake made. You guys want to see it? Show it. I'll show you my little flag cake if I can find it. Do. Maybe I can't find it. Oh, man. Post it on Twitter. Oh, I have my media. Ah. Ha-ha. Ha-ha. I did it. See, American flag cake. I made it. It's got little blueberries. And it's got little strawberries for the stripes and white frosting for the white stripes. It's nice. It's a little patriotic little American flag cake. It's like my little American flag here. Only I get to eat it. This is Lav, our favorite Lav. telling me that I look like a serial killer or child molester. So I told her to calm down and have some cake. So there's a little. See, it's even got some lore for you guys. Okay. That happy birthday, but you look like a child molester comment is kind of funny to me. But it's where we are. I don't not another viewer says, how could you enjoy cake when there's a genocide going on? True. $10 from Games Are for Kids 91 says, asks Mr. Mooten what else Hamas could have done on October 7th when they had already tried calling immigration, CPS, and the police about the noise coming from the music. That's a little dark humor there, but fair enough. But yeah, I invited Mail Slayer on because she'd make some pretty nasty comments about me, about some other people, Stardust. I think it might be, since there's more of you here, it might be helpful to Moon says, would you consider getting Food Shops on the air to talk about the new evidence she has? Evidence for what? What would the evidence be that she wants to share? Here, let me give me 1 second. Let me show you guys what started this. And for those of you who are viewing before, this is going to be a little bit of a refresher, right? A little bit of a repeat, but I think it's worth doing. So Stardust made a tweet. Hi, Juice Doc. Every time I'm on camera, you and your buddies decide to extensively focus on my body. Is this not seriously sexual harassment? And gang, if you go to the Kick chat logs and you go to JStock's channel and you search Stardust, you're gonna see what I'm talking about in his community, I should say. Some of the grossest shit I've ever seen. Talking about her masturbating, talking about her tits, talking about her body in weird fucking ways. And even on the little back and forth that they had on air, Stardust and JStock, JStock constantly shouting out "Hog Rider," a reference to Beckett having sex with Stardust and basically calling her a hog. Well, I don't think Beckett called her a hog, but like Queeman, JStock, Mrau, that whole group, basically sexually harassing her. And so that's pretty bad, right? And I think she's fair to ask that question. Is this not seriously sexual harassment? And the person I invited on made a video, okay? And I had some questions for her, and I invited her on to talk about it. And this is what the video is. And let's look at it. Let's see.
Ooh, men are so mean to me. Ooh, sexism, misogyny. Ooh, men are so mean to me. Bitch, your friend is being sued for sharing nudes without consent. He's being sued for a sex crime. Come on, you like misogyny. Stand on it. Stand on it.
So I had some questions about this this heuristic, I guess. And I invited her on to talk about it. She no-showed me, unfortunately. But my question is, like, is this not just saying it's okay to fucking sexually harass someone if they have friends that you don't like? I disagree with that stance. Oh, thank you for the $100 from Peak. Happy birthday. Keep working out. I will. $100. Boom. I'm going to get myself something nice for my birthday, okay? I'm going to get myself a nice present. It's going to be very fun. And thank you. And that is because of you. And gang, if you want to make it my happiest birthday, you can keep giving me money. I would like that. That'd be a great present. But yeah, back to the content. The standard of, hey, not even you, not even Stardust, but Destiny did something bad, or what you think is bad. And because he did something bad, it's okay to sexually harass you, right? You don't get to complain about other people sexually harassing you because your friend did something bad. That's such a wild standard to me. I think that is fucking crazy as a standard. It's evil. It's evil as a standard, right? That your friend did something wrong, or we think they did something wrong, so therefore we can do sexual harassment to you. I would love to have her on and ask where her line is on this. Would sexual assault be okay because Destiny did something bad? To sexually assault Stardust? Would it be okay to grope her? Would it be okay to do even worse, right? Hurt her in some way, physically? Would that be okay because Destiny did something bad? Where is your line? Because my line is way fucking before sexually harassing someone. I don't think just because someone did something bad that I get to sexually harass their friends. I think that's crazy. I think that person, again, is crazy for having that as their standard. I don't know how else to say it. I know I'm ranting a little bit, but it's just a wild thing to say. In public, on your main. No, I don't think it's okay to sexually harass someone because their friends did something wrong. That's a hot take, I guess, these days. I'm dying on this hill, gang. I'm planting my flag, and I am rallying the forces, and I'm saying no. This is not okay. And it's wild that you guys are fighting me on this in chat. This is just further evidence of a claim I keep making, and it keeps being proven right, that these people don't actually have a line. That they have no lines. That anything and everything is fair game if you were associated with Destiny. If you are associated with Destiny, there is nothing that can be done to you that is morally wrong. And they will always excuse it. And they will always run cover for this. That's insane. I don't know, gang. But again, I invited her on. She didn't show. I would love to have her explain her side of things. Avocado Please says, who the fuck is Stardust? Stardust is a friend of the stream. We like Stardust here. Stardust gave me my start, or was one of the few people who gave me my start. There's a couple people I credit with first coming on this space, and Stardust is one of them. Okay? Stardust is a friend, and we stand Stardust here. We defend Stardust here. $5 from Games Are for Kids. That was a Norm Finkelstein joke referencing things we went over yesterday on stream. Sorry if it was in poor taste. Happy birthday, Whick. It's okay. I don't know. I heard Norm Finkelstein was interviewed by Hassan. I haven't seen it. Anyone want to give me the TLDR? Azra Dash says they do have a line. It's my team versus your team, and that's yes. That's friend enemy distinction, and that's pretty much kind of it. If you are fine wine for my friends, for my enemies, the law. Okay? The famous quote. I forget who by exactly. But I don't know. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. What else is everyone doing today, by the way? I hope you guys have a great weekend planned. Anyone doing anything exciting? Extra spicy? Does anyone want to actually call in and give me a little bit of content today? That would be nice. I get these raids, and I do appreciate all the raids, Destiny. I do. But I feel like you come in on like... So sometimes I'll have great content. It'll be hitting. It'll be smashing things, right? And I'll be like, damn, yes, this is hot. This is awesome. I wish everyone could see this. No raids. Then I have a day like today where someone no-shows me and I'm just trying to fill time. And then, like, here comes the thousands of viewers to watch you do nothing. And it's like, well, shit. We got a caller. Let's see what they have to say. Hello. Hello, you're live.
Wow. I am live. We are all live. Happy birthday, Wick.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah. I actually wanted to talk about more so about the combo you had with Soy Pill. Not so much the other guy, because that was an unhinged part of that conversation.
Okay, so my convo was Soy Pill yesterday. Are you talking about?
Was that yesterday? I thought that was like 2 days ago.
Oh, no, it might have been Wednesday. Last time I streamed. So Wednesday.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Because I kind of thought that conversation was silly too, because I think his argument is kind of silly, but also like I understand why he would make that argument. Which is that like I feel like we do this thing, just people in general, where we forget why we fight or dislike another side. Right. So for Soy Pill, he's like, why are you posting all these right wingers? Like, and because I think for Soy Pill, he's like, you're amplifying these people. And I think like I would be curious if you asked Soy Pill, why is like Fox News bad? What his answer would be. Because there is an answer why like Fox News,
Sure.
and it's the same answer for why Hassan Piker's bad. Like there's an answer for why those two things are bad. I don't know if he would give the answer for the correct answer there. I'm curious, like if I was asking you that, like what would your answer be?
Why is Fox News bad? I think that one of the things they do is they are not careful in their reporting, and they are obviously biased to one side in a way that is dishonest, that they purposely lie or have their hosts lie about events that harm America, such as the Dominion lawsuit, where they lied about Dominion voting machines, and they knowingly did so and promoted that. I think that that's why Fox News is bad.
Yep, I think that's exactly the answer. It's specifically like the lying. I think the lying is like the big issue here, right? Because
Sure.
if they were like right-leaning, if they were like a right-leaning, super opinionated, like right-wing, like news, like, but they were operating off like a shared basis of fact as like everyone else,
That's fair.
like we wouldn't have the same issue, right? Like,
Yep.
Same thing with Hassan. Like, we might still think those views are abhorrent, but like we'd be like, okay, this is an honest actor. We can have an honest conversation.
Sure.
Even if we think that their views are terrible. And I think sometimes like that gets forgotten.
So hold on, just real quick. I don't mean to interrupt. But I'm hearing from people that Mr. Mooten is debating Pisco soon. Is that true? Chat, is that true?
I can't confirm or deny.
And can we watch together? On Kick. Would they be mad if I watched?
You stealing content? What's going on here?
Here's the thing. They watch my content all the time. So I don't really watch other people. What's the etiquette here?
I don't know. If I wanted to be a real pain in the ass, it'd be like, so you
you know what? I'll just I know both of these motherfuckers. Hey, can I come? Let me just ask. Are you debating Mooten soon? Can I worm my way in?
It's your birthday. You should just do it.
Well, I wanna play too. It's my birthday. LOL. Angel face. Okay. Let's ask. We'll be polite, okay? We'll ask. I asked Pisco. I'll ask Mooten too, because that's also polite. Sorry, I'm not ignoring you.
Yep. You should just do it. It's your birthday. What are they gonna do?
Well, I don't know the etiquette here. I don't really ask. Like, I'm always asking people to come on my show. Oh, they're saying I can restream it.
For some reason, I can't hear you. I don't know if you're talking to me.
Oh, yeah, Mooten's saying he doesn't want anyone else in, without him completely accepting, but I can restream it.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna hop and do that, I just like, I guess what I was gonna say is like,
Sure. Say yeah. Finish your thought. I don't mean to
yeah,
interrupt you. I'm sorry. Just, yeah.
I think for like Soypel, he's saying like you're retweeting these right wing things, and he's losing sight of like why these things are bad. But like those things are significantly less bad if they're true. It requires like more scrutiny, right? Like I don't know if I'd quote something from Hassan without like context, but if Hassan said something that's like true, I think like I'd feel pretty fine like quote tweeting that. And I think that just gets missed. And I think like the end result is like they kind of treat these like, if you're on the left, you treat right wing media, and if you're on the right, you treat left wing media like it's like the One Ring, or like the minute you use it, you immediately get corrupted. And I just think it's like very silly. And I just wonder if like sometimes it just takes reminding people like why we originally think these things are bad.
Sure.
And once we remember why we think those things are bad, like let's evaluate the individual thing and see if like we're falling into the trap. Because the trap those networks want to do is like, we're going to make this sensational like lie, this sensational lie, and it's going to suck people in, and that's how we keep them. I don't really think that works if it's like kind of a little bit more honest.
Look, I'll be real. I like soy pill. I know a lot of people don't, but I do.
Well,
I like soy pill. I don't think he's a secret tanky or whatever. But he is goddamn annoying coming at me for a fucking quote tweet. Let's be real what I did. I quote tweeted Fox News with a comment, okay? That yeah. I don't know, the argument that suddenly my audience is going to suddenly start trusting Fox News because I did this, I find incredibly silly. It's just an incredibly silly... Yeah, it's incredibly silly. No one is just learning about Fox News because of Whick
or
TV.
Even the Ben Garrison
no one's
guy.
doing that.
Or even the Ben Garrison guy, right? Like, if Ben Garrison... I don't know that guy really well. Soypill says, like, that dude is, like, a racist or, like, a far-right person. Like, if that's the case, I don't think that person would, like, appreciate the way you took their comic then. I don't think, like, there'd be a problem there. I just think it's very silly. Like the media sources we don't like aren't like the One Ring. You're not going to turn into Gollum when you interact with them. And I think it just takes reminding people that like it's about like the context. Anyway, man, once again, happy birthday. Love you. Love the content too. Take it easy.
Talk to you later, buddy. See you later. Okay, gang, are we ready to watch some other people's content? It's so weird. It's so weird. It's so weird. It's a B-Day pass. Yeah, I guess. It's for my birthday. Again, and this is only because my content ditched me. But let's see what we can do. Let's see if I can pull this up on the... I see him live. I don't see him in yet, though. So we're just gonna... We're just gonna, I guess... Oh, is Pisco not showing up either to Mooten's debate? Is that... Is that what's happening? Hold on, let me see if there's audio. No, he's just got like, music going. Okay. Here, I'll let you guys see it on the stream. Weird. So it feels odd. I'm doing that. Here, let me move my setup. Okay, there we go. The birthday pass. When Pisco gets there, we'll pull the stream up here. Yeah, I guess if Pisco doesn't show, maybe me and Mooten can have a little discussion. I don't know. I think we agree though. I think we agree with one another. Mooten and Whick are of a mind on this subject. Oh, is he here?
When your internet's fine, that's fine by me. He said, no, we just go, go, go. He said, just give me 1 second.
Oh, we're getting it. We're getting it, people. We're restreaming. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're watching it. Okay. Yeah, give Mr. Mooten a follow. Okay, let's be polite. Okay,
Today's
Mr.
the
Wooten
day.
streams it. Anything else? Go give him a follow. Hit that follow button on Kick.
Giving him an out equal being weak, you've already lost. I'm the nicest guy. At the end of the day, this is both of our jobs. So I feel a little bad that he's not going to be streaming to his audience.
Don't worry. Don't worry, Mr. Wooten.
J-Doctor, how long
We're
until
streaming to
my
my audience.
fucking shit's ready for TTS? Get to work, Wagey.
No, I asked permission. I asked permission. Okay, gang. You're saying I'm pirating? I asked permission.
Please.
No, I'm not moderating. I asked if I could join in. But
That's
they
what
said
I'm
no.
talking about. Get some tokens going, man.
We're doing it.
You guys want to see a Death Star update while we wait? Breaking Death Star news.
Oh, I don't.
I've been working hard on it.
Do I care about the Death Star? What is this? Oh, it's actual Lego shit.
I would say I'm about halfway done.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. W Wick and happy birthday. Yes, that's true. Happy birthday. He asked us? Who asked me?
The old Death Star is so
I
much
asked.
better.
Yes, I
I
asked if I could
honestly,
stream this.
I really,
He said I could
really,
restream it.
really, really have enjoyed building this one. It has been the most enjoyable Lego building experience I've had so far, and it's because you're building each room like by itself.
Moon gives good vibes
So
in person, by the way.
You get to build the cool room,
I
like
like
the
Mr.
trash
Moon.
compactor, and then apply it to the model. I just built the, you know, the area where Darth Vader like chokes the guy. I just built that.
See, we're gonna pause during this and give commentary. So we're not just taking it. We're actually gonna add to the experience.
Spoilers. Darth Vader's Luke's dad. Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's dad. That's really Anakin Skywalker's father. How much in Lego do I own? I don't know. Wait, because I bought most of it used, and I got this Lego Death Star for free. So if I had to guess, it would be like the actual price. 1,000. Like $3,000 or $4,000 would be like the actual price, is what I'd guess. I've spent maybe
$4,000 for a Lego Death Star.
maybe 800 on all of it.
Oh, 800 seems more reasonable.
Because I'm a businessman.
3 to 4K for a Lego set, man. That's some commitment.
Not even close.
Okay?
The Death Star is $1,000. The Razor Crest behind me is like $700. The fucking you're missing the thing at the top. That's like $700. And then all of the dioramas, those are like $100 to $200 a piece. I have like 5 ships back there.
Warhammer's
I have
cheaper
the
than
entire
this
Mos
shit.
Eisley Cantina. I think that goes for like $500 or $600 easily.
What do I gotta do to get you guys to fund my Warhammer stuff like you guys fund his fucking
Easily.
Lego adventures? Okay, what do I
Barely
gotta do?
pays
What do
me.
I have to do?
Oh,
Is it
come
because
on.
I'm bald? Is that it?
Don't make me tell them how much I'm giving you for your fucking birthday, man. The pisser's ready.
Here we go. Okay, here we go.
Hello there.
Hey, yo.
It's up to you if you want to use camera. If it's up to me, I would prefer if you could, but if your internet's bad, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Can you hear me, by the way?
Yeah, you sound good.
All right.
What
One
mic are you
second.
using?
I'm using my Shure mic.
Oh, wow. It's really nice.
Oh. That's
The debate
wonderful.
tactic
Sorry
of
for the
being
tech issues.
polite before
you're
you get
good.
into it. It's clever. Okay.
Just give me a sec to figure this out.
Thank you for the super chats.
How
We'll
you
read them
been?
soon. Don't worry.
Good. Been getting a lot more into politics recently. Been enjoying my
That's great.
ride in there. I'm reading Obama's book. Have you read it yet?
Oh, yeah, it's what's it called? It's the gray one, right? read that
I
with my
have it
dad.
on like audiobook, but it's called oh god, why can't I remember it? A Promised Land? Yeah, it's A Promised Land.
Yeah. They talk about like
Do we want to see his?
his
Look, I
college
feel like I should.
upbringing, David Plouffe, his campaign
I
advisor.
feel
yeah,
like I
it's a
should
good one.
move
Yeah,
the kick
it's a
chat
really
off
good
the
book.
screen.
I-
Just
Awesome.
for
Wait,
safety.
you can
Oh.
you can see me, right?
Yep. Your camera's working? Hold on,
Just
I'm
for
gonna pop it out and
safety.
put it in
Word.
this thing.
That's all I'm
Yep.
saying.
Sweet.
Here, let me adjust.
1 second.
Once again, make sure
Beautiful.
you give him a follow.
All right, what are
Wonderful.
we
He has
talking about today?
graciously agreed to share his content.
Yeah, I think that we're talking about this like DSA loop, right? The kick them out of the coalition, the line drawing, and the tent stuff. And so I've been having a lot of like annoyance with how that conversation is going. It's kind of meta, honestly. And basically how people are basically advocating for things and saying things. It sounds like they're trying to do something drastic, but at the end of the day, it seems kind of like mild in terms of the prescription.
Mhm.
So kick them out of the party, excise them out of the party. But when we get to it, like there's not any meat and there's not any like teeth to whatever recommendation they have. So that's what's been
Okay, so you
kinda
just feel like
frustrating,
people
and,
are like saying words and
yeah.
not actually getting out there and saying
How's
like
that?
what they would actually
Yeah.
want and what that means.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And additionally that like there's also this feeling that like there's more agreement than the nature of the discourse is letting on. In fact, like I often am looking for what the disagreement actually is, because
Mhm.
when push comes to shove and we're like giving different possible scenarios, like would you vote for this person, would you support this person, it sounds like there's more agreement on who the lesser of two evils is. And at the end of the day, like what are we disagreeing about? And so that's the kind of frustrating part. It like the discourse makes it seem like this is hugely antagonistic, oppositional state of mind that I have, or that like there's this huge mismatch, and I'm just like
yeah, we'll take out
failing
my
to see it.
branding for this.
Okay. Well, I think that you're gonna find it with me, honestly.
Yeah, let's get it.
Let's talk about it.
So just to be clear before they get into this, I've given very specifics on what I would like to see done. When they ask me like, how do you want this to play out? I give very specific advocacies. I want people to wake up to the actual threat, acknowledge it, and be able to say this is something that is happening and we need to push back. So that's one, acknowledge. Two, anyone who sufficiently crosses the line into this liberal, socialist, communist type of bullshit, a lot of DSA members do, where they take about abolishing the police, how America bad, etc. If they cross a certain line, like Chevrolet has, don't seat them, right? Don't put them in committees. They can come to the House, they can be represented, they're voted in, but don't do that. And any time that there's a nominee that is part of this group, do not support them, right? In the primaries, support their opposition. And depending if it's bad enough, don't support them in the general either. I think Plattner fell under that category, and you can disagree with me, but I was fucking right. But anyway, so this idea that no one's being
Hugely
specific,
antagonistic,
anyway,
oppositional state of mind that I have, or that like there's this huge mismatch, and I'm just like failing to see it.
Okay. Well, I think that you're gonna find it with me, honestly.
Yeah, let's get it.
Let's talk about it. So go ahead, interview away.
Yeah, so like
an interview.
I saw your tweet at me, and you gave like a couple concrete, like
Yeah, I said don't campaign for them,
prescriptions,
don't
right?
donate to them, don't appease them in Congress, and primary them.
Yeah, and I'm just like, is
That seems
this
reasonable.
truly like an elaboration?
Hold on, that seems reasonable. Don't campaign, don't donate, primary them. That seems reasonable. Is that unreasonable? I'm curious.
Of your preferences. So say for example, we have a qualifying member of this DSA set. Sometimes it's unclear who is a part of that set. It seems like among those politicians, it wouldn't include people like AOC. It might not include people like Mamdani. So query who those individuals are who are part of like the problematic set for whom this prescription applies. And I think that that's like worth going down. But would you want to pause there?
Yeah, so
Oh, hold on. Okay. Connection lost. Hello? Hello? Is that my oh no. Hold up, gang. Hold up. Is this a me problem or a them problem? Hello? No. My content! It's just one of those days, ladies and gentlemen. It's just one of those days. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
If the concern is that, which is to say that the Democratic Party will become illiberal, will become a Marxist-Leninist vanguard party, I just don't know why you have that fear.
So here's the reason that I have that fear is I feel like if we would have went back, what, at this time, like 12 years, people would have said the same thing about Donald Trump and MAGA. And now we have very much seen that, like, the party of the Republicans is now MAGA. There is no real space for middling Republicans to exist anymore. They are being primaried by crazy MAGA people. So this is why I have that fear right now. This, in my opinion, this already happened.
Because it's happened before. Yeah.
Because it just
I mean,
happened.
Like, I think, yeah.
Thank you
Trump
for
has
the
been able
gift TV
to
membership.
take hold of the Republican Party in kind of an
Appreciate it.
unprecedented way,
Mhm.
and in a way where he has exerts maximal control, such that he's able, even now, even as unpopular as he is now, and honestly, there have been some numbers where he has, 80, 78% approval among Republicans. That's like really bad for
90%
him.
is what
But
I've
even
seen.
now,
But
even yeah. Oh, I've seen recently the polling getting lower, but yeah, usually it's
possible
like
with Iran.
90, 91, 92. Yeah, but I think usually he commands, even in his weakened state, the ability to scuttle pretty much any Republican primary
pause?
and just make it go in his
Damn,
favor.
that's
And so
that's
I understand
rough.
that it has happened and that this person has control, but there's two responses I have. The first is, I don't think the Republican Party has fundamentally, ideologically, policy-wise, except for its adherence to authoritarianism and Trumpism, changed where it's going. So I'll give you some examples.
Except
Tax
for
cuts,
its
wars in the
authoritarianism.
Middle East,
What?
deregulation. These are all still things that the Republican Party approves of. And
Yeah, but it's not the
they continue to
deregulation
do,
that's the
right?
problem,
Obviously,
Pisco.
there's this added factor of the
That's not the
authoritarianism
real
of Trump.
issue we
Maybe
have.
that's what you're isolating for. And I agree, it did happen under Trump. I just don't have an
It's
inclination
the
that it's
thing
likely
you
to
said that
happen
was accept.
with the
It's the
Democrats.
accept the
So I will grant you that it
authoritarianism.
has
No,
happened.
that's the
Maybe
issue.
that informs
The
your fear,
authoritarianism.
but why is it rational to have that fear as the Democrats? That's what I don't understand, because I think there are key differences in how the Democrats operate.
Come on, Moot. Get him.
And
Get him, Moot.
uniqueness of
Get 'em.
Trump that don't sort of carry forward to the Democratic Party.
Sure. So the reason that I have this fear, and we can talk a little bit about this, is I feel like influencers are out there saying absolutely heinous shit about the Democratic Party.
True.
And they're kind of pushing the DSA types to do some sort of takeover of the Democratic Party. An example of this is going to be Kyle Kulinski. Kyle Kulinski has been out there recently calling moderate Dems MAGA lights. He has so many crazy tweets. I'm sure that you've seen them. If you'd like, I can start reading some off. But this is a big factor.
I grant that he says these terms.
Yeah. And I think it's disgusting. And for example, to talk about the trench, I would not say Kyle Kulinski should be in my Democratic trench.
No, this is exactly right. We need to make clear who is in the party and who is not. We're going to try pausing. Hopefully it doesn't break again, but I need to be able to actually add to this conversation. Otherwise, I'm just stealing the content. We're not going to do that. So Pisco's, again, the thing that he's setting aside for now, except the authoritarianism, is a pretty big thing to set aside, okay? Also, that's not true. It's not just the authoritarianism and the Trumpism. It's the anti-tariffs. It's if you go back 20 years ago, the Republican Party was very anti-tariff, very free trade, right? Very much for anti-isolationism, right? These things are the things that also come with Trumpism, and they're a problem too. But the big one, the thing that makes it existential in nature, is the authoritarianism. And DSA has that same issue, has that same problem. But anyway, let's keep going.
DSA types to do some sort of takeover of the Democratic Party. An example of this is going to be Kyle Kulinski. Kyle Kulinski has been out there recently calling moderate Dems MAGA lights. He has so many crazy tweets. I'm sure that you've seen them. If you'd like, I can start reading some off. But this is a big
I
factor.
grant that he says these
Went back.
terms.
Yeah,
Damn.
and I think it's disgusting. And
Kick
for
sucks.
example, to talk about
Kick
like the trench,
sucks.
I would not say Kyle Kalinske should be in my like Democratic trench. If anything, I think he's like a content creator / a pundit who's going to like shit talk both sides.
They're both looking very
So
snazzy today.
how I would determine someone
like the
who I would
tie
let
on
in the
Peaceful Game.
trench,
We gotta give
it's-
him-
There's a
he
few
looks
things.
fresh.
This isn't even like a whole list. I just came up with it this morning. It's like, how do you self-identify? Would be one of them.
Mhm.
Are you excited about like the party? Have you voted for Democrats when it mattered, specifically during either tough votes in the Senate or during like presidential elections? And the last one that is a non-negotiable is you don't interact with the entire party in a disparaging way during and not during elections. So like you can't do that. You can't just constantly shit on the Democrats and then want to be in the party.
I understand those are like criteria that you set out for the
Mhm.
trenches, and I appreciate the lingo and the clarification there. And a lot of that is like totally understandable to me. One of the things that I think frustrates people when I have these conversations is like, I want to do one thing at a time.
Sure.
And so that'll be true in 20 years. I mean, like, it'll be true. It's true of other organizations, perhaps. I just don't know. Like, okay, so just merely by the fact that it happened to MAGA, that's enough for you to think that it's a justified fear. Nothing else. Just the fact that there was a Trump
No.
takeover. Now Democrats are
No.
also susceptible to it, and it's
That's
you know,
not
there's
it.
at least a decent
It's not
chance
just
that it'll
that.
occur.
This
So
is why
one,
we have.
yes. Two, there's also other things happening.
Okay.
So, Mooten is correct. By itself would be enough, but his second point, there's other things happening, is also true. And this is why we're frustrated at you, Pisco, is because it's fine to take things one at a time, but the way you take things one at a time is saying, oh, so it's just this? No, it's not just that. We're just discussing this point now, but it's all these other things that add context to that thing, right? There are things that I can do that outside of context, isolated on their own, would be perfectly rational and normal, or could be horrific. But if you add the context, it changes that act. And so it's hard to discuss these things with you because you always want to go in isolation. And I just, you want to look at the bricks to keep talking about the wall. It's a problem. But anyway.
The Democrats are susceptible to the takeover is, well, it happened to the Republicans. I mean, that will be true in 10 years. That'll be true in 20 years. I mean, like, it'll be true. It's true of other organizations, perhaps. I just don't know. Like, okay, so just merely by the fact that it happened to MAGA, that's enough for you to think that it's a justified fear. Nothing else. Just the fact that there was a Trump takeover. Now Democrats are also susceptible to it, and it's there's at least a decent chance that it'll occur. That's
So
enough?
one, yes. Two, there's also other things happening.
Okay.
The other things would be like DSA members primarying moderate Democrats inside. I fucked it up.
It wasn't me.
I
It was
fucked it
him.
hard.
It wasn't me. It was him.
All right, let me put a title up.
Okay. He did it, not me.
Huh, put a title
okay?
up. You mean you're about to take the title, right, from this fool?
Oh yeah,
Oh, did it? Oh, fuck. Go to live.
a boulder rolling down or it's like a piece of
Damn
snow
it.
rolling down the hill and becoming bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
I see. So it's kind of like you want to kill it in its crib.
I'm sorry.
So maybe
gang.
right now it's
I'm
not,
not
at the
used to
point where
doing
it's
this.
extinction event
Please don't.
precipice.
Please don't
Yeah,
blame me.
But like you could easily see it start to gain momentum. Okay,
Yes.
then I mean I don't necessarily agree, but let's say I grant that.
Sure.
If the candidates are well, two things. The first is you mentioned the candidates hate the Democratic establishment and the Democratic Party. I'm going to say something perhaps controversial.
Sure.
That's like a majority view now among Democrats. Like
Yeah,
the
but that's
Democratic
bad.
Party hates the Democratic establishment. The Democratic Party, and by here I just
Hold
mean
on. No. Oh, okay.
the members, the voting people. Sorry, not the members. The voting
That's not true.
registered members of the Democratic Party. And so that's part of the reason why there's a rejection of people like Janet Mills.
No,
Why
almost
some of these
everyone,
endorsements don't seem to have
all the
effect
moderates
that
are
they used to
winning
have
by
in
more
races.
than
I mean, you have a
the
sitting
extremists are winning.
governor in the case
Okay, I want to
of
make that clear.
Gretchen Whitmer endorsing
Mhm.
Haley Stevens. No noticeable bump from that. You have big party luminaries endorsing Janet Mills. No noticeable bump from that. There seems to be a huge rejection of the Democratic establishment and I don't know, traditional party leaders from the Democratic voters themselves. And if you look at approval ratings, it's like net negative if you ask a Democrat regarding their own party. And so I think that
Yeah, but that I look, we're gonna do live as much as we can. We're gonna pause. We're gonna mess with it. But this, I have to say something, right? This idea that everyone hates the Democratic establishment, that's not true, and it's not borne out in data. We see, the people who are winning by the most in the reddest areas are establishment candidates. They're the moderates. They're not all establishment, but a majority are. 97% of incumbents in the Democratic Party for the year 2025 and 2026, 97% of them have won their bid for, at least in the primaries, for re-election, right? Only 3% have been primaried out, right? So it's clear that there isn't some like some groundswell of anti-establishment thing that is just crushing the establishment left and right. There are areas of the country and obviously online that absolutely hate the establishment and are pushing in that. And they hate it more than they hate the Republicans. But like, it's just not true, and it's not borne out by data. And again, we can see, how are these people performing overall? The moderate candidates outperform the extremist candidates every single time. And if we talk about unpopularity, every single Democratic politician from Mamdani down to Chuck Schumer have negative approval ratings nationally. Mamdani has a -5 or a 10 approval rating, one of the two. And he's the most popular out of all of them. But it's still negative. More people dislike him than like him. So I don't know, like, it's just a thing. But anyway, let's keep going and hope it works.
the members, the voting people, sorry, not the members, the voting registered members of the Democratic Party. And so that's part of the reason why there's a rejection of people like Janet Mills, why some of these endorsements don't seem to have the effect that they used to have in races. I mean, you have a sitting governor in the case of Gretchen Whitmer endorsing Haley Stevens, no noticeable bump from that. You have big party luminaries endorsing Janet Mills, no noticeable bump from that. There seems to be a huge rejection of the Democratic establishment and
thank you, Hidon.
I don't know, traditional party leaders from the
Happy
Democratic
birthday
voters
to you on
themselves.
the 29th.
And if you look at approval ratings, it's like net negative if you ask a Democrat regarding their own party. And so I think that honestly, there's a compatibility with being fed up with the quote unquote Democratic establishment, whatever that means.
We're doing it.
And not
Hassan
being
style.
authoritarian, not being a liberal, not being a team player, right? Like if it's representative of some wide swath of Democratic voters to take this kind of like negative attitude to the Democratic establishment, then in what sense is that an indication of illiberalism as opposed to just being fed up with the powers that be?
So why are Dems upset right now, in your opinion?
A multitude of reasons, but if you ask them from the polling that I've seen,
I'm asking
like,
why do you think that they
haven't? I'm telling you, I think multiple reasons.
Okay.
Based on polling data. It's a descriptive question about like why people think something, right?
Sure. Yeah. So like,
why Democratic voters think something.
What are some multiple reasons, I guess?
Yeah. So I think one of the big ones, if you look at polling, is like they don't think that their Democratic leaders are fighting back against Trump enough. They don't think that the Democratic leaders are doing enough to stymie Trump, doing enough to push back against Trump. That's one of the big answers that if you ask them why they don't like the Democratic establishment. They also think, if you look at like people like Ezra Klein talk about this, they think the Democratic leaders aren't effective. If you read Abundance, right, he almost makes an argument, Ezra does, that this is like rational given some failures in, for example, in California, brings up trains and on the slowness of the Bipartisan Infrastructure Act. Again, I might have my disagreements, and I do honestly, with Ezra on some of these examples. I'm just saying that that's the impression from a lot of voters.
We're back. Oh no! Oh no! Get back and it breaks. I didn't do. Gang, this sucks. This sucks. What'd I miss? I am cursed. Oh, here we go. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back.
And I'm not in favor of getting rid of the police right now.
Hong, I believe. Yeah.
Miss Hong. Hong. Yeah. My bad. Yeah. Miss Hong. I was almost super racist there, but yeah. So like, it really just does seem that the appetite among Democratic, and I could be wrong about this, voters isn't for tankyism.
Mhm.
It's for something fresh. It's for something new. And to the extent that there are pressures, it's to like sort of curb the ideological excesses.
So
That's why I'm not as concerned.
While that might be their appetite, I'm not concerned that the Democratic voter that's their appetite. I'm concerned that the people who are now feeding these Democratic voters are trying to backstab us.
True.
And I think that they kind of are sometimes even open with it.
True.
Chevrolet is literally saying, I'm a Democratic socialist. They're all saying that they're DSA members. They're not Democrats. They want to seize the media production. It's called abolish the police, abolish borders, etc. I'm not concerned about the Democratic voter. I think we can message better. And, sorry, I'll even say this. We can message at all. The Democrats don't have any good messaging right now, and get those people back. My issue is that these people start, like, making their headways in, and yeah, Ossoff's very good. I haven't seen anything from Hakeem Jeffries. I am for him being out as speaker. I think Chuck Schumer might be a little too old, so he might need to go. I'm for younger people taking over, and the Dems need to have an actual stance. Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
think that's
Schumer
all
ain't as
great and
bad as people
compatible
make
with
him out to
everything
be.
I'm saying.
Okay.
Like, you feel consternation at Hakeem. You feel consternation, or you think that Schumer might be too old. You think the messaging sucks. You don't like the current vibes, right? And
Correct.
You're not a socialist.
Nope.
And even though that like something like 32% of Democrats self-ID as democratic socialists, I just want to be clear. I'm not a socialist. I'm not a communist.
Do you identify as a Democrat?
They just... Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
I used to be more like I'm an independent, but I've been registered Democrat since the 2016 election, where I voted for Hillary Clinton, and proudly.
I voted for Hillary as well. Yeah.
In retrospect, yeah.
Everyone's Hillary voters.
So all I'm trying to say is like there's something to this like moment, I'll grant you, of the Democratic Party, that they're like sick of their old guard. But I don't think
to an extent, but it's because okay. There's a few reasons for this. I mean, he's overselling it, most definitely. But second of all, the reason everyone hates the Democrats is there's no one reason everyone hates the Democrats. I hate the Democratic Party because they're playing footsie with these extremists, and I wish they would fucking stop. So I have a negative opinion right now, okay? That's probably a very different reason than why Pisco has a negative opinion in the Democratic Party, right? And we can't conflate that our reason is the only reason or the main reason, okay? Look, the problem, as Moot pointed out, is like the voter specifically is being taken for a ride. These people are lying to us. They're lying to us to our face, and they're telling us that they're going to lie to us to our face. Kyle Kalinske has said, I hope Biden loses during the 2020 election, and when he does lose, because I didn't vote for him, you need to come to me so I could tell you who to vote for next and who will win next, right? They make these comments all the time. Mike from PA has said things, I will kneel on their, I will depress Democratic turnout until they bend the knee to the left. Like, this is an open thing that they are saying. Why are we listening to them? Why are we letting them influence our votes? Why are we letting them do this, right? I'm very mad at the people who are letting this happen. The people who aren't standing up and saying this is a fucking problem. The people who going on Hassan fucking Piker's stream, Diddy Piker dog striker, and acting as if that's totally okay and hugging him and campaigning with him. This is a fucking existential issue, and it's not going to happen overnight. Moderates are still in control. But if this continues, if this keeps up, it will become existential, right? It will become a problem. So we need to deal with it now, not 5 years from now or 10 years from now when it's too late. Anyway.
You feel consternation at Hakeem. You feel consternation, or you think that Schumer might be too old. You think the messaging sucks. You don't like the current vibes, right? And
Correct.
You're not a socialist.
Nope.
And even though that like something like 32% of Democrats self-ID as democratic socialists, I just want to be clear. I'm not a socialist. I'm not a communist.
Do you identify as a Democrat?
They just... Yeah, oh yeah.
The
I used to be more like I'm an
Okay,
independent, but I've been registered Democrat since
I'm sorry, it
the
sucks so much.
2016 election, where I voted for Hillary Clinton, and proudly.
I
I mean,
voted for Hillary as well. Yeah.
In retrospect, yeah. So all I'm trying to say is like there's something to this like moment, I'll grant you, of the Democratic Party, that they're like sick of their old guard. But I don't think that they're sick in ideological terms. I think that they're sick in terms of feelings of inadequacy, feelings of weakness, feelings of fecklessness, feelings of age. And the proof of that is like, who are the people like leading the polls among the Democratic potential nominees for president? Kamala Harris, Gavin Newsom, Pete Buttigieg,
Ossoff.
John Ossoff a little bit, and AOC. All of these people are palatable, right? All of these people are people like you would feel comfortable with, right? Even like AOC, people get mad at me when I bring up AOC in many of these conversations because she like doesn't count, because she was even though in her past, right, she said, hey, we need to abolish prisons. She had all these cringe things too. That's why IRI is also someone who agrees with me. IRI and I don't like diverge on this. Somehow, like I get attacked more than IRI on this position. Maybe it's because I'm more, I'm seeking out like some of these more contentious conversations, and IRI is not. But IRI says the same thing. Like we can use some of this tackling fuel. If
IRI is wrong
some of
too.
The vibes, and it doesn't need to go in a particular ideological space.
IRI
and
wants
to
to
the
fight on this,
extent
we
that
can,
there's
but he's
ideological
very-
incompatibilities,
he's very
they fall in line, or we primary the fuck out of them. And so like I don't see what the issue is.
The issue is that these people are willing and ready to stab you in the back, in my opinion.
Yes.
Who?
Specifically, I believe Chevalier. I don't think she's going to vote meaningfully well with Democrats, and I think she should be primaried. My position right now, if you're going to ask me, well, you're not asking me, I'm going to say, on the House, is that House seats for DSA members, we can give those up. The Senate, I would vote for anybody with a D next to their name right now. I will.
See,
and
I'm going to push you in a second.
Sure.
And just remember this moment, because I don't think that you're going to grant because I think you're going to say that the House of Representatives is incredibly vital. And
the House of Representatives is vital, but I think there's only like 3 or 4 DSA members right now.
It's vital.
I'm more
but
concerned about the
we're
Senate
going to win
and the
by
Supreme
so
Court
much that winning by plus
because they don't
30
run as
versus
DSA members,
plus
they run as
25
Democrats.
won't make a meaningful difference.
So should we expect for you to endorse AOC's
That's his
challenger
position. I don't
in her House
necessarily
race in
agree with
Queens?
it.
AOC
but
was
that's his position.
kicked out of the National Democratic Party. But
She
if
wasn't endorsed by the National Party.
no, she was kicked out. I believe they said that they were kicking her out if she doesn't not vote for Israel bills.
The national DSA party.
So-
I believe he means, not the National
Yeah,
Democratic
so
Party.
the National DSA, I think, rescinded their endorsement of AOC, and so she's not included in the set because of that.
Well, no. I mean, if there is a better candidate that I feel comes that's a Democrat, I will want them in the primary. That's what primaries are for, right?
No, but in the general, right?
Oh, in the general, obviously
Because
AOC.
all these are in the general. You're having obviously AOC, but if she had been endorsed by the National DSA, which I think they're going to re-endorse her, by the way, if they haven't already, would that change?
AOC's also been inside of the actual Senate, and I think we at this point know how she votes and everything like that. So
not a senator.
it
You mean
would
the
change.
House?
Sorry, yes, I misspoke. Yeah, in the House. Yeah, so yes, I would still endorse AOC over a MAGA Republican.
So the issue with AOC is we have demonstrated evidence of her going against the extremists and moderating to a good degree. Now, you can still say she's got some problems, right, with her endorsements of Jamal Bowman, Cori Bush. I believe she avoided endorsing Graham Plattner, which was good of her, right? But there's still issues I have with AOC. But we have also counter evidence for AOC where she's governed at least somewhat moderately in many cases, and she's shed a lot of her extremism. She's evolved. And so as she evolves, I think it's fine. But anyway.
Is it plausible to you that you would support, well, I guess El Sayed is the Senate, right?
Yep, El Sayed has got my full
And so El
support, and I
Sayed-
will campaign for him if he wins. I will go door knock.
Okay. And Hong?
Hong in Wisconsin? Absolutely not.
Yeah, for
No.
state governor.
No.
Based! Moon is based
You don't
for
think
this.
that the
Hong's crazy.
the governor's mansion
Hong's a crazy person.
in Wisconsin is vital? I mean, this is a swing state. The governor runs elections there. You're going to put that in the
That's a
hands
pretty
of the MAGA
powerful.
Republican?
That's a pretty powerful seat to give to a crazy lady. I know what a Republican will do. I
It's
don't
a
know
pretty
what a
powerful
crazy
seat to give
DSA
to
member.
a crazier. I mean, we've seen things that state MAGA governors have done in places where Trump has tried to fuck with elections and stuff. They're way more sympathetic to those efforts.
My goal right now is to kill basically the evil baby before it becomes a monster who
The kill the
kills my
evil
party.
baby is a weird way to put it, but
And that would mean helping. Wouldn't that mean helping a Republican win the governor's mansion in Wisconsin over this?
No, I'm
candidate?
just not going to spend any time there.
But you would prefer the Republican to win.
Would I prefer the Republican to win over Hong? Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll grant that.
Isn't that an endorsement?
No. I can prefer somebody to win and not endorse them.
I wonder what he would say with
Well,
the
I just view an endorsement as like a statement of support about who your preference is to win an election.
I disagree.
And maybe you mean something different by endorsement?
I think the average person would think that an endorsement is you actually pushing for the person and saying that this person is someone you want to win.
Well, I just don't understand. If this is such a big threat, why not endorse them? I mean, like, if you really want to stand by your principle that this
I would
person
never endorse a fucking
is such a threat to
Republican.
your own party,
why?
just because of like the signaling effects it would
Come
send.
on, peace
No,
go.
I would just never endorse them.
We can
Because it looks
recognize
bad?
that just
No,
because
they
you
have
don't want
diametrically
to help
opposed
someone
views to
doesn't
me.
mean you would help the other guy.
But like, why wouldn't you canvass for them? Why wouldn't you? If you want this
Because
result,
there's
if you
many
say it's
other
your
places
express
that I can
preference-
go and I can canvass for it. I only have so much time.
Okay. But if you could snap your fingers, you would make the MAGA Republican win the governor's mansion, right?
Currently, this year, yes, over a DSA member, yeah.
Okay.
Followable foul in
I
Twitch
think
chat
that's,
saying, Kisco,
that's
these people
brutal
are
to
your
hear, man.
enemies. Has the left tried to control
And if
you,
anyone
or
thinks
just
that that's
wanted
like
you
a
to
majority
understand where they're
opinion
coming from?
on
Can DGG say
Live
the
and Learn,
same?
maybe that you guys think that
That's
Live and Learn is
crazy.
tanky and learn or something or whatever.
No.
Or you think that that's a majority opinion among Democratic faithful? I mean, if we're going to go to the race in Wisconsin, it's going to be like 90+% vote for the Democratic nominee. This is the aberrant view. This is the the view that's a minority, not the view that like we should support the nominee in the Wisconsin governor's race, which enforcement of state law in Wisconsin, a state that has been targeted specifically by Trump for election, interference and shit. That is fucked up. In this age, we don't want to play with that.
I just don't want the DSA to come and kill my party, man. I don't know what to tell you. And I believe that this won't be a long-term thing if they're quote unquote killed now. It's like, it's a thing that you got to do now. Hopefully at the end of,
I mean, but if she was, if she was running for the Senate, you would vote for her.
yes, because because the Supreme Court is the most important thing in the world. Yeah. If Trump gets another
Fair.
2 seats, like this whole thing is cooked. Like it's GG.
Some of the most important pushbacks against the MAGA regime have been on things from state actors. Gavin Newsom on redistricting. Abigail Spanberger, when she, in many different ways, including the attempt to do the gerrymander with the amendment that failed because of judges there. Mikey Sherrill, governors like Pritzker. It's the difference between having cooperation with ICE and not. It's the difference between having cooperation with National Guard deployments and not. It's the difference between suing the federal government and not suing the federal government. I mean, this is like a massive, huge deal in one of the most consequential swing states. And if you're willing to give that up to a MAGA Republican in this context, I just don't think you think MAGA is that bad or that Trump is that bad. I mean,
and Trump are on their way out currently. The DSA, I don't know what the fuck they're going to do, are on their way in. They're trying to absolutely steal my party. Just because I think Trump's really bad.
Do not underestimate your opponents, man.
Pisco, do not underestimate your opponents applies to the DSA as well, for us. I agree with Moot here. MAGAism has largely been defeated in the politic, right? In the world of politics. We are winning on all the polls. We are set to take the House and a lot. Look, I go back and forth on the Senate, but depending on the day, right? Like there is a real big chance, even with the structural imbalances, that we're going to take the Senate as well. Like on issue after issue after issue, people have moved away from Trump by quite a bit, double digits in many cases. We have Trump himself, his approval ratings in the fucking toilet. Like, we've defeated these guys. it's over for them in a real way. And yes, they're going to try shit, and we need to be ready to stop that shit. But no, our next opponent is using this opportunity to try to weasel their way in, and we need to stop them now. So Mooten's stance here of, I will sacrifice this governor seat because I think the bigger threat is coming, at least in this case, from the DSA, that's a perfectly reasonable position to have. And the argument is perfectly sound. The big problem, I guess, with that, though, is Pisco is kind of right that if you believe MAGA is not beaten, if you are of the opinion that MAGA hasn't been beaten, that that's the we're going to be dealing with MAGA for the next 20 years, then I can see Pisco's position more, right? I just don't think that maps with what's actually happening, though. So, I mean, Pisco is right that most of the important pushback on Trump's excesses has come from the state level. But again, I think it's pretty clear that threat is waning and the threat of DSA is waxing, and we need to act accordingly. So that's my opinion. Let's keep watching.
Some of the most important pushbacks against the MAGA regime have been on things from state actors. Gavin Newsom on redistricting. Abigail Spanberger, when she, in many different ways, including the attempt to do the gerrymander with the amendment that failed because of judges there. Mikey Sherrill, governors like Pritzker. You know, it's the difference between having cooperation with ICE and not. It's the difference between having cooperation with National Guard deployments and not. It's the difference between suing the federal government and not suing the federal government. I mean, this is like a massive, huge deal in one of the most consequential swing states. And if you're willing to give that up to a MAGA Republican in this context, I just don't think you think MAGA is that bad or that Trump is that bad. I mean,
and Trump are on their way out currently. The DSA, I don't know what the fuck they're going to do, are on their way in. They're trying to absolutely steal my party. Just because I think Trump's really bad.
Do not underestimate your opponents, man.
Yeah, I'm going to say that to you, man. You shouldn't underestimate the DSA.
Well, I'm afraid there's a track record, in my opinion, of Trump and MAGA destroying this country and doing authoritarian shit. And when they get onto power, I don't see that track record among DSA.
Yeah, but we have enough evidence that we don't have to see it happen.
Feels insane
we
that
know
we're
what's
having
going to happen. We have enough evidence.
Maybe,
more than enough evidence.
I would endorse the more moderate candidate in a primary context in Wisconsin. But to say you prefer the MAGA Republican in the age of Trump,
be clear,
in an age of
supporting
like literally
DSA
trying to fuck with elections,
supports Republicans.
I feel like the Democrat.
If you support,
the DSA is an absolute existential threat to the Democratic Party.
This a lot,
and
but this is important to say. If you are supporting the DSA, de facto, you are helping MAGA to win. Why do you think Fox is bringing all the DSA candidates on? Why do you think Fox is bringing all their national chairs, co-chairs, vice presidents, etc.? Why do you think Fox is doing that and platforming them? Why? Why do you think that they're out there hoping that El Sayed wins? Why do you think that they're out there hoping that Hong wins, right? Why do you think they're doing that? It's because they understand that this will help them. That this will help them get elected in a year where they are performing abysmally. That they can use that and people and the public's hatred of socialism and the DSA in particular and the policies that they represent, which are fucking super unpopular, right? We talk about how unpopular Trump is. Abolish prisons is one of the most unpopular fucking proposals ever been made, right? Not to mention abolishing the Senate and shit like that. Like, they're going to use these wins that the DSA has, the few ones, and they're going to tie them to the larger Democratic Party and use it to whip us in the general elections, right? In the general electorate. So you supporting this is de facto helping MAGA to win. It's just, you're just being MAGA's strongest fucking soldiers, okay? It's crazy. Like, you're giving them ammunition. Don't do that. That's stupid.
I would like it to be over ASAP versus like continue with what I feel is to come. So yeah, I'm willing to lose one governor race and a few House seats this election in order for hopefully it to be completely stomped out. That's correct.
Yeah, and why do you think that would occur?
Because
why would this achieve that result?
It would show that they're completely unelectable.
So you think if she loses this election, the DSA is going to go away, or if enough DSA members lose the general this time? I mean, most of these candidates who are, and again, we'll have to inquire a little bit more about who is part of this set, because it does not yet include Lander, because you haven't examined his like platforms or whatever.
Haven't looked at
it
this
certainly
shit yet.
doesn't include AOC. Does it include Bernie Sanders?
Does it include Bernie Sanders? Bernie Sanders has been around for fucking ever, and he votes obviously all the time with fucking Democrats. So no, I wouldn't say it would include Bernie. No. It includes
Omar
more
has been
people.
around now
Yeah,
for
Ilhan Omar,
years.
it would include 100%.
I just don't understand why make a distinction between Ilhan Omar and Bernie Sanders.
Well,
That to me
Ilhan
is
Omar has
bizarre.
voted
Ilhan
against
Omar
Ukraine
also
aid.
mostly votes for Democrats. She has a better record. Here's what I say, right? Ilhan Omar has a better record in the House voting for Democrats than like Jared Golden. She has a better record than Marie Glosunkamp-Perez. She wasn't like Tom Suozzi, who's condemning Kamala.
It's Kick, gang. Can we just say how shitty Kick is? Yeah, I know. I see it, gang. Sorry. Refresh. Here we go.
People are absolutely unelectable, and then I would hope that all of the fucking influencers out there who are pushing for these people would realize they're unelectable and stop pushing for them, and instead try and push for moderate Democrats versus these nut jobs.
And in Wisconsin, that will be demonstrative of their lack of electability.
Yeah, if a DSA member loses the fucking
and then people
governorship.
will stop being, DSA will lose its influence.
I would hope.
Or you think it's more likely they will?
That would be more likely, yeah.
I'm less confident of that, but all right. So let's move. That's part of the prescription in terms of voting. I think that is an understandable prescription. It's one that makes sense to me. I disagree with it. I mean, I just think that we disagree on the prescription. It's not on. I will say this is the first time that someone has suggested not voting for like a real, what I think is like an insanely important race in a general election. But I will just like disagree.
Hold
with
on.
that. And that is like closer
Please
to
go.
what,
I suggested this
Avi, his
about
prescription
Plattner.
would be.
And we're allowed,
and
it's okay to disagree. I don't mind like disagreeing with you on this or whatever. I just want people to understand I genuinely view the DSA as the scariest thing right now, versus who I believe is on their way.
The scariest?
Yeah, in this election, I believe the DSA are fucking incredibly scary right now. Yeah. Obviously, I think the MAGA... not for the Senate. Obviously, I believe that the MAGA Republicans and Trump are technically the scariest thing. I just meant like they're very scary. If I really viewed them as the scariest thing, that I wouldn't be pushing for the senators, like DSA senators or whatever. Yeah, but I am pushing for that. So. Okay.
Yeah, I don't share that fear, and so we disagree on that. So in terms of that prescription, I'm just not going to sign on to it. Although I appreciate you because I do think that that's
so
like a concrete
gang.
And like real prescription with teeth to it. I'm just like, holy fuck, I'm not gonna do that, bro. And I think that you should, if the Senate is important enough vis-a-vis the Supreme Court, the Wisconsin governor's mansion is important enough, bro. It really fucking is. I mean, these state offices are super, super fucking crucial. Remember when Elon Musk was like, I'm sorry, this is my last attempt to try to convince you otherwise, because I feel like I'm failing in this conversation to impress upon you the importance of it.
I get
Elon
it's
Musk
important.
was all guns blazing. Yeah.
You can keep going, sir.
But what do you think they're going to do in Wisconsin if she wins? Like, she's going to end private property. She's going to end democracy in Wisconsin.
The problem if she wins, it signals to other like DSA members that like these are quote unquote winnable seats, and that like DSA actually has a place in here, and they can like mask on as hard as they want, and then actually win, and then they become like a huge like snowball effect. So yes, I don't want any DSA members in any huge positions of power. Yeah.
He's correct. Moot's correct here.
Why?
Again, we can quibble over.
Why wouldn't that apply
where
to the
the
Senate,
threats
though? I mean, if it's
biggest
really a
and
snowball
smallest,
effect,
The
if there's
Senate,
two or
there's
three,
two Supreme
El
Court.
Sayed,
There's 2 Supreme Court seats right now of people who can and probably will retire if the Republicans win. That would give Trump a total of, I think, 5 Supreme Court justice seats. It's 4 or 5, and that can't happen.
Just that he nominated. I mean, he has.
Yeah. That is losing an entire branch of government to wackos.
Okay. And I'll try one last time. On the House of Representatives margins, you think it's not plausible that it'll be limited to a 1, 2, 3 seat margin?
That's correct.
The Democratic victory.
Yes, if I saw
And
that,
why is that plausible to you?
If we only
if
win
I
by
saw
1
that
or
it
2
became
seats,
like it's a
we
1 to 2
fucking-
margin,
we
I would
fucked up.
probably push for the DSA members. I'd have to think about it a little bit more.
Like
but yeah.
No, hold on. This is really important. If 2026 November comes around, the day after elections, and we, the Democrats, have only taken the House by 1 or 2 or 3 seat margins, something went catastrophically wrong. Catastrophically wrong. We're probably going to pick up 20 seats. Okay? Not 1 seat, not 2 seat, not 3 seat. 20. Maybe 30 if it goes well. Okay? 1 to 2, yeah, 1 to 2 seat margin would be a failure of catastrophic proportions. I don't like in that world where we only win like 2 seats, then oh boy, I don't know what to tell you, okay? I don't know if I agree with Mooten entirely about the Wisconsin governorship. But I do think his argument is sound. And I think that Pisco is once again underestimating the danger of letting these people win. They are pro. Well, they're anti-America. They're pro-Russia, pro-China. They are every caricature that the right has made of the left, right, of Democrats. They are that caricature, okay? They actually are. They're lying when it comes to the Democrats. Democrats are not that caricature. The DSA are that caricature. And damn, you don't want that. It's generational losses forever. The 1,000-year reign of MAGA under those conditions if DSA gets control. And I don't want that. I don't want that. I want a Democratic Party that is robust, is pro-America, is not isolationist, is not going to abolish private fucking property, is not going to do all the abolish prisons or even talk about abolishing fucking prisons. I want a sane Democratic Party that could be what's the word? Effective. Thank you. Effective roadblock to authoritarianism. I don't want just blue MAGA. I don't. That's what DSA is. It's MAGA, but blue, but lefty. All the populism rot we're getting from MAGA, it's that, but left. Okay? It's the same, and it's a problem. And I want a party that will fight against it, not saying we have to fight fire with fire and arm our crazies to fight their crazies. No, that won't work. It won't work. Everyone's just going to kind of fucking stay home and sit on their goddamn couches. We're not just competing against MAGA, we're competing against the couch. And a lot of people sat out in 2024 because they, again, I would argue incorrectly, saw very little difference between the parties. And part of that problem is why they felt there was very little difference between the parties is because people like Kyle Kalinske, Kristen Ball, Emma Vigland, Hassan Piker, a bunch of DSA people and fucks have been telling them over and over and over and over again that there are no differences between the Democratic Party. We have clips of Hassan saying, if the Democrats had gotten elected, if Kamala had gotten elected, he would be doing the exact same thing that the Republicans are doing now. And it's just bullshit. But that kind of rhetoric and that kind of thing makes it hard for people to beat the couch because people will stay home and say, oh, it's just the fucking same. That's just It is what it is. It is what it is. And it frustrates me that people can't see this. But yes, the DSA winning elections in primaries is going to destroy the Democratic Party. And if the DSA gets a foothold in our party past a certain point, it becomes harder to deal with the more power they gain. Okay? Right now, we can nip it in the bud because it's small. It's little. It's tiny. And that's the problem that they'll argue against. Well, it's just tiny now, so why? MAGA is obviously the bigger threat. Yeah, but that's the best time to deal with cancer. If you catch it early, and it's still very small, you can have just a simple operation. You're usually good. Very simple treatment plan. Takes a little bit, but usually good. But the longer you let it fester, as it metastasizes and spreads through your system, the harder, more expensive it gets to deal with. And it will pass a threshold where it's inoperable. And so I'm begging and pleading on my hands and knees. It's my birthday. It's my birthday as a present to me. Take it fucking seriously. Treat the DSA winning in these primaries as the doctor coming to you and showing you that you got stage 1 cancer. Treat it that way. Treat it that seriously. And deal with it the same.
There's 2 Supreme Court seats right now of people who can and probably will retire if the Republicans win. That would give Trump a total of, I think, 5 Supreme Court justice seats. It's 4 or 5. And that can't happen.
Just that he nominated.
That is,
he has...
yeah. That is losing an entire branch of government to wackos.
Okay. And I'll try one last time. On the House of Representatives margins, you think it's not plausible that it'll be limited to a 1, 2, 3 seat margin?
That's correct.
The Democratic victory.
Yes. If I saw that,
why is that implausible to you?
If I saw that it became like it's a 1 to 2 margin, I would probably push for the DSA members. I'd have to think about it a little bit more, but yeah.
No, it's whenever
really
I'm paused, it didn't loop.
Like,
whenever I'm paused,
it
just it rewinds for whatever reason. It is
contingent.
Doctor Strange set of possibilities. Oh, that's what I mean. But like precariously contingent.
Yeah,
so that
I'm being
if your
precarious
perspective on the. I'm not saying that you're being precarious. I'm saying like the set of circumstances by which you're not endorsing those members in House seats is really contingent on your intuition that the margin in the House is implausibly going to be as narrow as 2-3 seats.
That's correct.
Okay. Oof. And all right, so let's walk through the candidates. It's only House members and state offices. Anyone besides Chevalier and Valdez and Ilhan Omar.
I don't have any other names.
Now it's 3.
I don't have any other names off the top of my head now.
So I would add Bernie Sanders to that list for a few reasons.
Cool. So I think we've identified what we disagree about.
Sure.
And I know the proposal, and I think people can just can determine for themselves whether they agree with it. Your recommendation or my recommendation. Is there anything else you think that we disagree about other than our views on the existential nature of DSA and
anything else
in the upcoming elections?
No, I think for the most part, you and I agree on most things. I think we just have a different view of what the DSA is going to be and like how it's going.
He said the line. He said the line.
Okay, and on the media stuff, because there's also this I'm anti-Semitic now, and like I sweep for communists. Like, do you take that view? And you think?
Do I think
I'm not
you're
anti-Semitic?
No, I don't think you're anti-Semitic.
I've never heard.
The only thing that would lead me to believe that is you brought a guy on named fucking the Jew Stalker onto your Twitter space, but no, I don't think you're anti-Semitic.
I brought on Myron Gaines. Surely that was more. I mean, Myron Gaines comes on there and starts talking about JQ stuff and how he hates women.
Well, I don't think you should have brought him on either.
Myron Gaines.
At least you can get something out of
Myron Gaines. You don't think I should have brought on Myron Gaines?
Well, I'll say this. At least you can get something out of Myron Gaines versus the Jew Stalker, who you can't get anything from because he has a way smaller audience than you.
Hold on, did Soy Pill
I see people who are
yell at Pisco yet?
Prominent people in the
Soy Pill yelled at me.
And I just add them. I mean, I added.
Pause again. Soy Pill yelled at me. He yelled at me all day Wednesday. Not all day. For 2 hours. Okay? He yelled at me for, quote, tweeting Fox News. Has Soy Pill yelled at Pisco for having Myron Gaines on? Look, to be clear, my having platform whoever you like, that's okay. There's no problem. I don't have a problem with it, right? But Pisco Soy Pill yelled at me. I'm wondering if he's consistent with that, or was it just an anti-Whick thing? Okay. I just look. I want people to hold Whick. Why are people holding me to a higher standard than other people? I just want to ask that. Like, it's flattering to a point that you think, well, Whick, you're just better than they are, and you should have better standards than they do. Fair enough, but like, getting yelled at for 2 hours for quote tweeting Fox News versus platforming Myron Gaines. I don't know which is worse. Who knows? Anyway.
That entire conversation with Hobbit Follower, because he reached out to me. And at the end, I was just taking questions from the people who I saw that were requests that I recognized.
If Hitler requested, would you add him?
I mean, yes,
Oh,
I
okay.
would.
Well, then that's
Do you want to take an
base,
opportunity to talk to Hitler?
No.
Look,
would
base.
You, like, never
Peace
talk to
goes
Nick
base
Fuentes?
here. I'm going to be real.
Would I never
That's
talk
base.
to Nick Fuentes? Nick Fuentes has I wouldn't add somebody with a smaller quote unquote platform to me to come spew their crazy shit when they're trying to legitimize themselves as like Democrat or like a Democratic commentator. No, I wouldn't personally. No.
I wasn't thinking of any of that. Like, I think
Sure,
you guys
I'm not saying you
think
did.
more of
I'm not
these-
saying you do think of that. I'm just saying that that's something I disagreed with, like you doing technically. I don't think when you added somebody to the Twitter space
as
and
well
pulled
as
them up that
Myron
you-
Gaines.
No, I said you can gain something from Myron Gaines, so I understand why you would do it.
Do I have to yell
But
at
in
Moot?
terms of like anti-Semitism,
He's
don't think
obviously
that those acts
he's
are
pretty bad.
anti-Semitic?
What?
No, yeah, he's anti-Semitic.
pulling
for
him
sure,
up,
but, like-
pulling him up. No, I wouldn't say that's anti-Semitic of you. No.
Okay,
cool.
Moot's fair.
Alright, sick.
Now, if you let him come on your
Um,
platform and he just
yeah.
like spewed anti-Semitism for an hour and you didn't say anything, I would say
Yeah.
that well maybe you're tangentially agreeing with him by not saying anything, right? But I think that you
By
would
not,
have,
like, pushing
you would
back
have
or
you would
whatever,
have
yeah.
appropriate pushback. You're not an idiot, yeah.
Okay, cool. I appreciate that. Yeah, bro. I mean, like, all right,
Could've
I'm gonna
brought
try
me
one more
on.
time. No, you cannot
made me
say
yell
that you
more.
would prefer a
Would've made me
MAGA
fight
fucking
more.
Republican, the governor's office.
In
of
this,
Wisconsin.
in this race, I
It's
would,
too important.
man. I
no,
would.
it's too
I
fucking
would.
important.
I would.
You're brain broken right now. And I'm
I'm not.
Like,
go ahead.
they're not about to turn the party into this authoritarian and liberal thing. That's
That's what you
crazy.
think.
Why do you think that? The Democratic faithful are like way too
They aren't
self-critical.
about
They're
to.
way too
They-
a diverse coalition.
okay.
If you ask them, if you pull
They
the
want
Democratic
to,
faithful, like,
and
do
they
you
are
support
ascendant.
with these kinds of
Is it
authoritarian
going to happen
measures,
tomorrow?
getting rid of police,
No.
getting rid of prison? It's not going to happen. They're going to have to moderate, or their ass is going to be sent packing. That's exactly what Democrats did, by the way, in like San Francisco with the mayor guy and all these. Remember the ballot initiatives in California after they had like lowered the criminalization of certain crimes or whatever? The Democratic Party, when they see that their own candidates are fucking up, it's this fucking self-repair, self-defense mechanism. It happens. How can you be scared of like a Maoist take over the party? The party will just wipe their ass with these people and throw them out. And they have done that to the extent that they're ineffective or they don't fall in line. It happened also in the House of Representatives with Jamal Bowman, and it happened like with these candidates who are crazy, stupid, distracting. This shit occurs, Mutin, and there's no basis other than, well, it happened to Trump. It's not going to happen to the Democratic Party. And there's no basis to believe it is.
You know what? It won't
Miss
because
Holmes,
we'll
You're gonna
stop
give away
them.
the governor's mansion.
But if
in
we let
Wisconsin.
them
That's
do it
fucking
and don't
insane.
oppose them, it
That's one of
will.
the closest
It might not
fucking
happen
swing
today.
states at a
It
time
might
when
not
Trump
happen
is
tomorrow. It might not
targeting
happen
these
next
states.
week.
And
But it
you
will
should-
happen.
The evidence of that should be on how insistent they were regarding the Wisconsin Supreme
That's
Court.
why you have to stop
elections
them.
There. Elon Musk spent millions of dollars in that race precisely because
What
it
do we
was so
got?
important. You understand?
I didn't do that. No, hold on. No, I didn't mean to. I didn't touch anything. Oh, God damn it. We should rename the title of the stream, Whick Struggles with Tech.
One is federal holiday for elections. Are you for that?
Yeah, but I also think it's not a super critical thing.
Sure.
But yes, I am in favor of it.
My next one would be free or reduced government childcare federally.
I mean, I'm not really a policy wonk, but it sounds like something I'd be down with, and something that like a lot of major.
The reason I
developed
really like
countries,
this is because I feel like the
you know, push.
average Democrat fucking thing to get people like money back in their pocket is just like shit at the end of the year for their taxes, but nobody actually feels that.
Yeah,
whereas,
like tax credits and shit.
yeah, whereas like people who are paying for childcare, etc., they see the $2,000 come out of their account every single month, and this would be a huge burden relief for them. That's why I'm pushing for that. The other one is voter ID tied to free passports for all.
Yeah. Yeah, so I have no problem with like a voter ID law packaged with a national ID.
Yeah.
The reason why people, I don't know, the country has been against national ID are like a lot of these bullshit government like cynicism bullshit, and like we've used this number, the social security number, to be like our national ID when it's very insecure, very dumb. And so I'm fine with voter ID paired with like sufficient access, and yeah, I think that's dope. That's a great policy.
Someone brought up earlier, they were
This
like
is raising questions for me,
free
but yeah, go for it.
passports. So I was like, oh yeah, we just tied that into my voter ID thing. And then the last one is no AI in political advertisements.
That's reasonable.
Oh no, I don't agree with that.
You don't agree with that?
I'm a free speech guy. I'm a free speech guy. So unless you can find out some good legal argument for why,
Do you think you should be able to AI like
AI
Talarico
doesn't
in
count?
like a dress saying something in a political advertisement?
I think that you could like restrict like what's the deal, like kind of deception in ads and like misinforming consumers. So that I'm okay with. But like you said, I thought you said like a wholesale ban on AI. I don't know if I would be. I think that seems like far
No,
too
wholesale ban would be
broad
wrong,
from a free speech
but
perspective. Unless you can make a good argument.
I think
that,
we could
like,
tailor. I think we could
for whatever
tailor
reason,
a
I would have to be
carve-out
convinced by like a First Amendment
for
argument on
making
AI.
a deep
Because
fake,
as it stands right now, I do
right?
think it's speech.
Okay, cool. I
And
will
so I'm
add
a
that
rights
to
guy
my
first. I'm
look into it.
a liberal. Wait, no, this is raising questions for me, Moo. Wait.
Yeah.
So in terms of the policy platform that someone like Hong or Mamdani or someone like one of these figures, I don't think else I had you put in there. What is the thing that's like most scary to you?
I want to abolish fucking cops, etc.
Yeah, that's pretty scary. That's
But
not
do you
the
think that
scariest,
that's like
but scary.
a realistic scenario?
I think
like,
that
you're-
it's crazy
that's
that
obviously-
they're
I would
even
agree
with you, that's
pushing
a
towards
horrible
that.
position.
Hold on, they keep saying we want to
Yeah,
do
they have
this.
some fucking stupid
Is it
theory
crazy
bullshit
to think they're going to
explanation
try
for
to
what
do
they mean
this?
by that.
Yeah, these people
But
are
it's
cancer
never
and
gonna
they should
happen.
be
So why-
out of the. They shouldn't be in any big elected office.
Yeah, but like people like AOC have said shit like that before, and they've like, why is this a
Yeah, but they
fear?
walked
They're not
that
going to
shit
actually
back.
enact it. Right? You're not
And when
scared
they
of
were
them
saying
actually
that
enacting
shit,
that,
I was
right?
against them too.
I don't know what they do in the future.
But you're not afraid of them actualizing it. Are you like concerned that they're actually going to?
I'm afraid that
the
they
police?
would take over the Democratic Party and then do wacky shit. Yeah, that's what I'm most scared of.
But not specifically getting rid of the police.
I don't know what they do, man. I have no idea. That's what they want to do. So yeah, I'm afraid of it. Yeah, I'm afraid that they're going to do what they say that they want to do. Yeah.
And same with prison. You think that they're actually?
I'm afraid that they're going to do what they say that they want to
tangible.
do.
Yeah,
That's
the
correct.
Moot's-
That's their
Moot's
policy.
correct
I'm
here. They
afraid
keep
of that.
saying they want to do this.
Okay.
It's reasonable to expect they want to do this.
Yeah, I'm not as afraid that they're going to be able to actualize that. Mamdani has said shit like this in the past too. He is like making inroads with the police. The power has a way of force, especially among Democrats, and unlike Trump, of forcing you to like build these bridges with other constituencies and interest groups and key holders to power. If you're actually scared of the police and prison being abolished, maybe I would understand like why you're taking the tack that you're taking.
I'm scared that they're
that's,
going
like, a
to do
crazy
what they say. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thank you for the happy birthday wishes.
All right. I think
All right.
it's a irrational fear.
It's in
But, hey, appreciate the conversation.
Appreciate the combo.
And,
Thank you so much.
let me know if have any disagreement. Yeah.
We'll do.
Okay, cool.
Have a good one. Ciao.
Bye-bye. Well, does Mooten want to talk real quick? I
Trump
don't know.
allows.
Let me ask. Here, we'll get him off screen.
Old.
What a good combo. Did you guys like it? Let me ask if he wants on. Maybe he can give us a little content. Maybe a little. We'll see. Maybe he won't. That's okay. I understand. Sometimes you get tired. We can ask. Let me readjust so I can see you guys better. Yeah, it's a little short, but it's a good talk. No, I think it was fine. I think Mooten did well overall. I have a couple thoughts. I would like to just tell him directly if he decides to come on. Won't take 10 minutes. Nah, he says he can't. That's okay. That's okay, gang. We still love Moot. We love Mr. Mooten here. We'll just have to talk to him another day, and that's okay. Maybe he'll come on the Monday thing. We'll see. But I think that I do think he needed to push that last bit more, and I think he needed to push Pisco on that a little harder. Is like, why would it be unserious or unfounded or irrational when you have a party whose platform, or an organization, I should say, whose platform is, we want to abolish prisons, we want to abolish policing, we want to do all these things that I think would destroy America, frankly. You have a party who believes in that. You have people that are representatives of that party, who have been endorsed by that party, who have made statements in the past that are in line with that party, like Chevrolet has. Why would it be irrational to think that they're going to do exactly what they said that they wanted to do? Now, you could point to, well, they say now, like Hong, I think, walked back on a couple things. If I'm remembering the interview correctly, which I might not be, so grain of salt, but she walked back on abolishing the Senate, and she walked back abolishing the police, I believe. But it's still fair to suspect that they may not be being honest in that, considering they are still a member of this party whose major platform wants to do that. I think that is a fair suspicion to have. And for people like Chevrolet, who has not walked this shit back, who has specifically refused to answer in the interview leading up to her election what she would do with a rapist or a murderer, who dodged that question like she was in the Matrix, to worry that if these people gained a foothold and gained power, that they would do exactly what they say they want to do, is not unreasonable or irrational. And once again, do I think they're going to be successful in the next 5 to 10 years? Probably not. But this is them starting the ball rolling down the hill, right? It's not going to look bad or be serious or scary at the start. It's when and as they gain a foothold and power, and as they metastasize and spread, that it becomes an actual threat and problem. And at that point, it may be too hard to deal with. It might be too late if they get enough political power to actually implement these things, which I admit they don't have now. But I want to stop them from getting to that point. And I don't understand why that's such a hard concept for people to understand. General Grievous says, Hong didn't walk it back. She had an interview on Fox recently. She said it's not a short-term goal. It's down the road. Is that what she said? I'd have to go look. I could have sworn she walked it back, but I could be wrong. Could be wrong. Happy birthday. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Total Mooten W. He deserves a raise, and happy birthday. It's just good business to get those W's, okay? It's just good business. I appreciate Moot having the courage to say something like, I would not vote for Hong in the general, because I think defeating the DSA is that important. I think that's a brave stance. I think that's, especially in this climate, that's a very brave stance, so I appreciate it. That Reshi guy says, back after the debate. Hi, Whick. Hi, Reshi. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you. Nice to say hi. But yes, it's about where we need to put our political energy right now, I don't know if I agree with Moon on not voting for Hong in the general. I'd have to think about that more. Because Pisco does make a salient point. A lot of the pushback to Trump's bullshit has come on the state level. That said, Moon is right when he says that they are waning in power. And by they, I mean Trump and MAGA are waning, whereas the DSA are waxing. And that has to be taken into account too. So I'd have to think about it more. Yeah. It's a problem. I don't know. Like, also, watching that Hong interview, and maybe she was just nervous. She came off like she was like, how are you doing, fellow humans? Right? It was very weird. Like, her mannerisms, very odd to me. But she might have just been nervous. It's possible. $2 from Super Duper Scooper to say happy birthday, Wick. Well, happy birthday to me, because it's not your birthday. It's my birthday, bitch. No, thank you for that. Let's read some of these super chats. So, here we go. $5 from Single Player Carl. Happy birth, mid-aged dad. How was your day? First of all, I don't have any kids that I know of, but it's been good. $5 more from Single Player Carl. Predict how many super chats to make Pisco appear. Predict how many super chats before Wick notices and reads them. And I'm funding it right now, Wick. Well, thank you for the funding. Pisco didn't appear. Wick is reading super chats now. So if you place now as your time, collect your bets. $5 from Knife Mall. Happy birthday, Mr. Wick. Base, but notably less bald than Hutch. It's true. I don't entirely shave it. I like the fuzz. Okay. I like the feel of the fuzz. Okay, it's nice. $5 from Hell's Pacifist. Happy birthday, man. I'm here for the commentary and to start the Warhammer fun. Thank you for that. 5 Wick TV gift memberships from Colliebots. Woo! Wick TV and Colliebots. Yay! Thank you for the 5 gift TV memberships. Hedonic Samuel for $5. Happy birthday, Wick. Mine was on the 29th, Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. was when my mother doomed me to existence. Hey, fellow Leo. Nice to see you. Nat Grant King for $5. The Dem approval is negative, and Dem thinks the Dem party is too left. The Independents think it's overwhelmingly too left. This is based on polls. Happy birthday. Well, thank you for that. And yes, right, the idea that we can make the Democratic Party more popular by going to the left is just not borne out in data. $5 from Das Vildania. AOC didn't endorse either Chevrolet or Valdez in the 2026 primary, and that's why AOC gets a pass. $5 more from General Grievous. Oh, on that, like, Mooten, this is where I disagree with Mooten too. Mooten said that he wouldn't include Bernie in his poo-pooing of the DSA types. I do, because Bernie does endorse those bullshit. Like, the problem I have with Mom Donnie and Bernie both is they have held open the door for really bad actors, including Chevrolet. Bernie endorsed Plattner, and that was a god-awful nightmare and a mess, right? And Bernie, remember, Bernie's partly responsible for Tulsi Gabbard being where she is, right? Tulsi, he boosted her to prominence, right? Endorsed her, in fact, campaigned with her. Like, Fetterman, too. It's crazy. Yeah, these are... Bernie himself might be fine, but the people he has helped to introduce to the political climate and the Democratic Party and the national politics as a whole have been nightmares. Okay? So no, Bernie gets it too, okay? I don't want someone who is that bad of a personal judgment, anywhere near levels of power. $5 from General Grievous. The argument to not support DSA is the fact that insane positions like abolish POTUS, Senate, SCOTUS, and prisons will drive independents to Republicans. That's also true. $5 from Hedonic Samuel. They already call us all communists. Sure, let's just give them a real-life example. Very smart. Hello. $5 from Keep Your Bill Steins. The voting margin isn't key. It is the ability to hold the speakership, make committee assignments, etc. It is basic electoralism. Sure. $20 from Loki. $20. Wow. Wick, buy a few drinks on me for your birthday. Keep up the good fight. I will. Thank you for the $20. That is very generous of you. Really appreciate you. 5 Wick TV gift memberships from Return of Patches. Welcome. Return of Patches. And thank you for the 5 gift TV memberships. $5 from Peak. Pisco keeps saying that they're not about to take over while trying to move them closer to that. By definition, he is kicking the can down the road. Yeah, he's like, it's like getting the doctor coming to you and say, hey, you have stage 1 cancer, but we can deal with it now. He's like, well, no, let's deal with it later. It's not that big of a deal. It's only stage 1. Why even talk about this right now? We got other problems that we got to deal with, right? It's a bad idea. $2 from Blue Ridden to say, try and join Whick, help out. I did try to join, but didn't get in. $5 from Blue Ridden to say, sorry, I forgot. Happy birthday. Well, it's okay. Thank you. I'll accept your $5 apology. Appreciate you. $5 from Donnie. I don't know what Pisco means by that. Mom Donnie is not making inroads with the police. They have a working relationship, which is fine. I guess I missed that. $2. Oh, $10 from Muse Sploot. Happy birthday, Exodia Wick. I don't know. Well, thank you for the $10. I do appreciate you. I do appreciate you all. You've been very, very kind to me, and I thank you for it. I thank you so much. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Is there anyone else who has something to say to me or any other content we can look at before I call it a night? What do we got coming up? Okay, next week. Ladies and gentlemen, next week, what do we have for you, my Wick friends and my Wick enemies? On Monday, we're going to be talking about the Liberal Action Network. Gang, I am proud to announce I am a member of the Liberal Action Network, something that has been cooking for a while, just got released today, and I'm excited. I'm excited for it, gang. Let me show you the website if you haven't seen it. You can go to liberalaction.net, right? And we have, it's great. Okay. Oh, I got to change my setup. Ugh. Alone, liberal creators are easy targets. Together, we are not. The Liberal Action Network connects and defends independent creators who vigorously champion liberal democracy against the coordinated doxing, intimidation, and swarming they face for it. We remember how I talked about liberal NATO, how we need a liberal streamer NATO. This is it, gang. It's official. It's official. You can apply, okay? If you want, you can come on in. We're built on mutual defense. When one of us is targeted, the rest show up. Authentic action. We organize around shared goals and surface the conversations that matter while every member speaks in their own voice. No marching orders, no copy-paste talking points, and a broad tent. We lift up creators large and small and keep liberalism a place where people find a home, not a pipeline to extremism. We guard against radicalization on every flank. It's great. It's great. Look, this came to pass because we had a panel with Kraut and a few others, and we talked about the harassment, doxing threats we were all facing, and we talked about how to fix that, how to problem. And we brought up the concept of liberal streamer NATO. People watched, people saw it, people made it happen. And you can go to liberalaction.net and participate. We do have a screening process. You have to be an actual liberal, and we will vet you. Right? But please, if you're a creator, large or small, and you want to stand up against extremism, join us. It's fun. No one gets paid. It's all volunteer. Okay? Hopefully I get paid by you guys. But no, this organization doesn't pay anyone that I'm aware of. At least they don't pay me. 20 big, fat dollars from Tristan P. Happy birthday. That he kept using Ezra as proof for Democrat support going down, while Ezra is one of the people bad-mouthing Democrats. It's crazy. A little bit. Thank you for the $5 from Moose Blue. Lamau, the LAN party? Yeah, it's a LAN party. And we're gonna have them on Monday. I think at 8, it could be 6. I'll have to check the times. But I'm hosting, and LAN creators, we got some great people working with us. We'll be able to come up, and you, dear viewers, can come up, ask questions, things like that. It should be fun. Headless Chicken, subscribe to Tier 1. Thank you for the 8-month subscription. I do appreciate you, sir. $2 from General Maccabi. Happy birthday, bro. And then they have Hebrew. Thank you. I don't know what it says, but I hope it says happy birthday. But yeah, I'm excited. Thank you for the happy birthday wishes, Headless Chicken. But yeah. Okay, so yeah, Monday we're talking about that. We're talking about the LAN. Okay, Liberal Action Network. That'll be Monday. On Tuesday, I'm going on a panel. What's the title of this? I was invited on it. Let me read the title so I don't get it wrong, because it was a weird title, and I'm a little weirded out by it. Let's see. But the topic is Anglo-American foreign policy regarding Russo-Ukraine war. So that's at Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern on the 4th. Should be a little spicy giving that title. I'm excited for that. I'm going to be talking to some kind of an Andrew Wilson orbiter on Wednesday who had some issues with me. Okay. And that'll be Wednesday's content. We're going to punch right a little bit. Crucible Bros are all kind of just weird. But at least they're brave enough to talk. So kudos to this guy, Cool Vic, I think he's called. I'll have a link to his stuff when I go on his show. But he made a video, and he had some very not nice words about me and my comments about Wilson and Dragon Fist. I don't know if you guys saw Dragon Fist versus the World, but I had some I guess I was made aware during that stream of the fact that, or the accusation, I should say, that Andrew Wilson, had blackmailed Dragon Fist, or had coerced him, put pressure on him, I should say, more correctly, to not associate with Sarah the Raging Tomato. And people were DMing me this during. I had no idea that this was a thing. And I had Dragon Fist on, and it was against the world, and I'm part of the world. So I took him and I showed the evidence and had him answer for it. Look, Dragon Fist answers. I was getting Weasley vibes, and what I mean by that is I think he was lying about what he was saying. That's the impression I get. I don't know because I wasn't there. I can only look at the evidence and the text message change and things like that. But anyway, Cool Vic had some problems with how I did that, so we're gonna talk. Should be fun. And then on Friday, everyone's favorite, Ryan Mullally called me out. And he says that the Democratic Party is beyond repair. Okay. He says that this has been something that has happened long ago, that the infection's already at stage 4 cancer levels. Right? I disagree. And we're going to have a discussion about it. Okay. I think he's overselling it. And I find it wild that anyone who supports, right, MAGA and MAGA policies is going to scold the Democratic Party for fighting against its extremists. So that should be a fun discussion. So yeah, next week's got a lot of content, and I'm excited for it. And I hope you guys tune in. $20 from Divin Norum Boomer. It's true, I am. Thank you for the $20. $2 from Jesse Purelando. Happy B-Day, boss. Well, thank you. I appreciate the cash and the money. I think that's it, gang. I don't know what else we got. If you like my content, if you enjoy Whick TV, and I know you do, hit me up by liking the channel, subscribing if you haven't already. If you want to support me in a different way, we have Patreon. The link is in my YouTube description. Please go to that. We have $5 more from that him to say happy birthday, Whick, DGL. DGGL. True. Thank you for the $5. $20 from Benji Boy. Happy birthday. Well, thank you for the $20 as well. But yeah. That's what we got. I think we're it. I think that's it. I think we're done. I will see you guys Monday. Thanks for the raid. I appreciate all of you DGGers for coming in and staying as long as you did. I know today was a little bit rough. My content bailed on me, but I hope we ended up having good content anyway. Thanks again. I'll see you guys on the flip side. Bye-bye.